No, we started with nothing in humble beginnings. They wanna fuck with me now cause I'm winning. Chasing this chicken cause I'm on a mission. I'm known for get money and standing on business. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know how we living. Come from the struggle, got lost in the hustle. Straight out the mud, no, I compliment couples. Chasing big bills just to keep this shit subtle. You ain't on my team if you wasn't in the huddle. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know that I'm with it. I fit the description, I'm the definition. I'm what they prescribe like she seen a physician. She wanna ride cause she seen how we getting it. Big old booty, she my passenger princess. She like to argue, she don't like to listen. She bougie and toxic, she fine and she picky. Pretty and sedity, she get recognition. Matching nails and toes, man, she always French tip 'em. Parking lot pimping when we in the city. Don't ask her about twine, she twerk on the engine. She eat the dick in the car cause it's tinted. She pay me attention like she get commission. Pimpin' CEO, so I give her the business. She ride on the dick like she doing some fitness. She make the dick disappear like she magician. She like to swallow, man, she love when I finish. Having motion, man, you know I got plenty. Bitches choosing cause they know that I'm winning. Seen some thousands, now I'm out to some millions. So all my houses come with chandelier ceilings. Pillow talking, man, that shit just ain't in me. Keep it pimpin', I can't do no pretending. Jealous hearted, man, you know I ain't with it. Cuffin' hoes, I can't do no commit. No, we started with nothing in humble beginnings. They wanna fuck with me now cause I'm winning. Chasing this chicken cause I'm on a mission. I'm known for get money and standing on business. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know how we living. Come from the struggle, got lost in the hustle. Straight out the mud, no, I compliment couples. Chasing big bills just to keep this shit subtle. You ain't on my team if you wasn't in the huddle. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know that I'm with it.
What we doing tonight, chat? Y'all lock? What we doing tonight, chat? Y'all lock? Y'all know what time it is. We in intro mode, baby. I'm a saint, but I sin. I checked in the game to win. I left, she loving me again. I let her cry out the bins and they say time heal. Mine still felt like it was yesterday. How we're moving fast, probably too fast to even catch the play. Spencer night, she pack a bag right to me, just getting gas. Coming back, I want it bad. I'ma touch it first. Eat it last, it's temporary. Holly damn emotion said it's temporary. My pain deeper than the ocean. Temporary feelings mixed with temporary pleasures. All these temporary moments and these temporary treasures. Temporary circumstances to temporary measures. Temporary friends and even temporary schedules. Temporary smiles and temporary goals. Temporary women sliding on temporary poles. Temporary comments and temporary trolls. I just pray that God bless me. Ain't no temporary souls. I'm a saint, but I sin. I checked in the game to win. I left, she loving me again. I let her cry out the bins and they say time heal. Mine still felt like it was yesterday. How we're moving fast, probably too fast to even catch the play. Spencer night, she pack a bag right to me, just getting gas. Coming back, I want it bad. I'ma touch it first. Eat it last, it's temporary. Holly damn emotion said it's temporary. My pain deeper than the ocean. That's what I'm talking about, chat. Double tap the screen, shut a live out. Y'all know what time it is, chat. Y'all locked? Y'all locked or what, chat? I need to...
Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube.
Yeah, that sound about right. Hold on.
Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube.
Oh, man. Double tap the screen, shut a live out. What we doing tonight, chat? Double tap the screen, shut a live out. What we doing tonight, chat? They saying Trump extends ceasefire. Reports of a sneak attack. The Pentagon is in shambles, and we're going to cover that Virginia gerrymandering. I hope everybody's having a good night. We got to get to 100 likes right quick, chat. I need everybody to double tap the screen, go to the top, make sure you have the live video like, chat. We got an action-packed episode. We're going to cover, news breaking that the Iranian Guard has just took the Ayatollah hostage. Generals are blocking peace talks, holding their own negotiators hostage while the economy collapses. They're saying no one is calling shots and a coup is in the works. Also, we got Trump calling out Tim Cook, man. Calling out Tim Cook, saying Tim Cook called him to kiss his ass. Chat, we'll cover that as well. He said Tim Cook called to kiss his ass. And we have Iran coming out with more Lego memes. This time it's Kash Patel drinking. And I think they're reporting that Kash Patel is threatening to sue any media that calls him J. Edgar Boozer. J. Edgar Boozer. What's up, Big Niche? What's up, Dwayne? What's up, Laurie Delphine? What's up, He Who OG? What's up, H Buster? What we doing, chat? Also, we have Trump wants $1.5 trillion for the defense bill, and tucked inside of that defense bill is $54.6 billion drone budget, a 24,000% increase over last year. And we know that Don Jr. and Eric Trump have the drone business that they started recently. This is crazy. They're saying, according to Saudi analyst Mansur Al-Malik, a revolutionary coup has taken place inside of Iran, with the RGC placing House Speaker, the House Speaker, the President, and the Foreign Minister under house arrest, halting U.S. negotiations. And I wonder, is that the same Foreign Minister we've been seeing speak? Is that the same Foreign Minister we've been seeing on all of these mainstream outlets? That's crazy if they got him on house arrest. Also, Kash Patel is coming out reporting that the Southern Poverty Law Center was paying leaders of the KKK and other groups. They're saying that this is systemic racism in 2026. They said that they were performing hate crimes, all kind of events that they were funding to the tune of $3 million. Also, we have James O'Keefe. I told y'all about the O'Keefe cameras, the cheaters cameras, the hidden cameras that are already always watching, man. Everybody hit the like button right now, chat. Hit the like button, man. We got to get the likes up. It says top U.S. nuclear chief was caught leaking sensitive national security information to a stranger. He revealed that an Army chemist was exposed to U.S. chemical nerve agent, and he confirmed that the U.S. Strike unalive children in Iran. He also disclosed U.S.'s plans to kill Iran's new supreme leader. And this is Andrew Hugg, branch chief of the Nuclear and Chemical Surety, the U.S. Department of the Army. This is the one who was escorted out of the Pentagon today. Trump extended the ceasefire with Iran indefinitely. His statement said, based on the fact that the government of Iran is seriously fractured, not unexpectedly so, upon the request of Field Marshal Asim Munir and Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif of Pakistan, we have asked to hold our attack on the country of Iran until such time as their leaders and representatives can come up with a unified proposal. I have therefore directed military to continue the blockade and in all other respects remain ready and able, and therefore extend the ceasefire until such time as their proposal is submitted and discussions are concluded, one way or the other. President Donald J. Trump. So he extended the ceasefire. Also, we got Professor Jane coming back out with a game theory number 21, calling it World War Trump. Andrew Wilson also debated Constantine Kissin on the right to women's votes, on women vote. Also, Trump signed an executive order. He had Joe Rogan in attendance. They're gonna let people do these psychedelics for substance abuse, chat. Do you agree or disagree with psychedelics for substance abuse, chat? Agree or disagree with psychedelics for substance abuse? We're also going to talk about Detroit. They're saying Motor City is offering up big cash to attract residents, chat. Would you ever move to Detroit? Put move or not move in the chat. Let me know, chat. Would you ever move to Detroit, man? They're trying to attract residents with cash, incentives. Also, the ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee of Arkansas, has been recalled to Washington, D.C. During the middle of this conflict. They're also saying Iranian professor Mohammed Morandi, who was also a member of the Iranian negotiating team, calls everyone and saying everyone must leave the UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, and Kuwait. He's calling for everyone to leave Qatar, UAE, Bahrain, UAE, Oh, I said that twice. Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, man. They're saying he's calling for them to evacuate, to get the hell out of the way. They're saying that two suspects just pulled off a $1.8 million heist on a Brinks armored truck in Philadelphia, and they escaped clean. $1.8 million heist. I tell y'all every episode, man, we're living in the real life GTA. We're living in a real life GTA, a $1.8 million heist. 2 people, Philadelphia, got away clean, man. This is crazy. The anti-billionaire progressive group, Our Revolution, officially endorses Tom Steyer for California governor race. Now, how ironic is that? How ironic is that? An anti-billionaire progressive group just endorsed a billionaire. It's crazy. How the hell is the anti-billionaire progressive group endorsing a billionaire for governor? I'll never understand it. J.D. Vance is in Washington. Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner have not departed to the Middle East for the peace negotiations, and the Trump administration is considering a financial bailout for the UAE over the losses they have suffered with the U.S. war in Iran. Let me know, chat. Should we bail out the UAE? Yes or no? Bailout or no bailout in the chat. Should America bail out the UAE for the damages they have suffered? Should America bail out the UAE to the tune of billions of dollars for the losses they have suffered? Yes, Rahid is correct. They did ban smoking. The UK banned smoking for everyone born after 2008. I believe everyone born after the 2008 has a lifetime smoking ban. They will never be allowed to smoke. Let's get into this episode, chat. Double tap the screen, shut the live out. This is a Houston police officer talking about how she hates niggers. This is a Houston police officer speaking about how she hates niggers. And you know, chat, we've covered the Herma La Rosa for the betterment of the race. A lot of people say that it's not like that, but I'm just here to tell y'all, man, sometimes that shit gets like this, and this is a prime example of it. Let's hear from an officer of law enforcement. This is the people that we have hired to protect and serve all communities.
The amount of times that I will always and forever say that I fucking hate niggers. Oh my god, I fucking hate chimps. Like, I hate y'all. Like, I don't fucking, isn't that, I don't give a fuck, nigga. Like, for a fucking reason, you guys were fucking slaves. You guys don't know anything better than
So let's break this down. This is a police officer. She starts off the clip saying she will forever hate niggers. She will forever hate chimps. Then she uses the A. I'm just saying, nigga. I see why you were enslaved. Now, this is the police, chat. This is a police officer, mind you. I'm going to start it back. This is a police officer now.
always and forever say that I fucking hate niggers. Oh my god, I fucking hate chimps. Like, I hate y'all. Like, I don't fucking, we were slaves, isn't that, I don't give a fuck, nigga. Like, for a fucking reason, you guys were fucking slaves. You guys don't know anything better than to fucking steal. Like, oh my fucking god, nigga. Like, I was literally eating fucking food with my friend. He had his, oh my god, like, I don't know, por Dios, por gracias de fucking Dios.
But take notice how she drops the N, how she drops nigga. She says nigga so fluently, like this is in her life, meaning that this is a part of her every day-to-day being. But now that she's mad, she's expressing the hard ER. So it's kind of like, what is it? What is it with you, lady? You hate niggas, but you love niggas slang. You love the terminology. You love, I'm just trying to figure it out, Chad. I'm trying to read her.
I had my fucking wallet next to me, like my whole purse, and those fucking, like that little fucking small ass chimp decided not to fucking steal my fucking wallet, nigga. Oh my god, nigga, I would've grabbed my heel and like whooped the fuck out of that nigga's ass. But like, whatever, right? Some other but no homo or nothing. Y'all don't know how good it felt to say like out loud, like goddamn, nigga.
She says no homo, but you guys don't know how good it felt to say nigger out loud. What the fuck does no homo got to do with this situation? Like, at this point, this bitch is just drunk talking, man. Let's be honest. Hit the like button. Double tap the screen. What the fuck? What the fuck does no homo have to do with you just dropping the hard ER? I'm trying to understand it here, chat. Like, at this point, she's just fucking talking, bro.
Out loud. Like, goddamn, nigga. Like, oh my god. I felt like I was back in the Marine Corps, nigga. Like, I kid you not. I don't know what the fuck came over me. I grabbed that nigga by the neck, and I was like, come here, you fucking nigger. And oh my god, like, I felt like the world just stopped. Like, it was just peace. Like, I don't know. And then he was just like, even I, in my head, I was like, damn, bitch, te pasaste. Because I called him a fucking nigger, dog. Like, imagine.
Man, come on. They finna copyright me because you over here typing and shit, man.
You're a nigger. I was like, over there, they could have beaten my ass. And then he, like, stops, like, you did not just call me a fucking nigger. I was like, you're a nigger. I was like, oh my god, like, you're a fucking nigger, and I called you a nigger. Like, world peace, baby.
All right, man. That's the Houston police officer. I'm sure she's been relieved of her duty. If she hasn't been relieved of her duty, I don't know why she hasn't. But we're gonna get into one more clip before we get into the news, man. Let's get into this James O'Keefe. This is why the top U.S. nuclear chief was escorted out of the Pentagon today. James O'Keefe caught him on that cheaters camera, exposing national security secrets. Damn, I almost took my face off of the camera. Chat, everyone hit the like button, man. We only got 30 likes, man. We got to get the likes up. Double tap the screen on your way in. Make sure the like button's hit at the top, man. What are we doing? Let's get to this cheaters camera, man, with James O'Keefe, man.
Kill the next guy, the son. If he does the same ways, then everything kills. We're gonna shoot missiles and destroy some stuff.
Yeah.
But if you want to like win, if you want to like make the country do what you want, you have to put people there.
I was hearing something that we killed kids in the war. Did we actually?
There's been some collateral damage, yeah, for sure. They always die in war. Yeah. So nerve agent is a chemical weapon. It's like Pandora's box.
A nuclear and chemical safety branch chief in the United States Department of the Army spills detailed information about their possession of nerve agents.
And lungs won't work, your heart won't work, nothing will work.
Revealing that a U.S. Army chemist was exposed to the nerve agent due to careless handling.
She's supposed to wear all this gear, and she's like, I don't like it. She just wore like Crocs and her own clothes.
Yeah.
And so it's soaked in her clothes. And just soaked very well on her skin. So she could literally start touching stuff. Other people would touch like a door, and then people would die.
Then goes on to reveal intimate details about the U.S. nuclear arsenal.
So you said there's missiles underground.
Yeah.
Also discloses that the United States military has no official plans to nuke Iran.
We're not thinking about nuking anybody. We're not moving nukes. We're not going to nuke it.
And the exact methods that the U.S. uses to defend against nuclear attacks.
We have all these sensors in space. We have radars, all these sensors to detect a launch. Space satellites with radars, you'll see it. On the radar, you actually see the thing flying.
And confirms what many have suspected, that Ukrainian officials were using the money sent from the United States to buy themselves mansions and luxury sports cars.
I worked on Obama's tax money that he sent. They just stole it, and they bought houses, cars, like $100,000 cars. If they can get themselves rich and leave and go live in Dubai, that's better than, they don't care about the people. That government is so corrupt. You're not a spy, right?
No.
Your eyes have mesmerized me so much that I'm almost going to tell you.
Y'all hear that? You're not a spy, right? Your eyes have mesmerized me so much that I'm gonna tell you. That's all it takes is a little coochie. A little coochie, perked up titties, and a cute smile, and he's about to spill the fucking beans, man. What's wrong with these people, man? What's wrong with these people, man? Some perky titties, a little tight ass, and a cute smile. He's ready to divulge the nation's top secrets, man. That shit is crazy.
That's why that's the easiest way to get intelligence. Like, just send a pretty girl, talk to the guy.
I'm independent journalist Brianna Morello here filling in for James O'Keefe for the latest exclusive report inside the U.S. Department of the Army.
I do work with like chemical weapons, nuclear weapons, but I do the safety, security stuff. This chief of chemical nuclear surety, which that's like not many people like outside, but in this world, surety means safety, reliability, security. It's like all the to make.
Look at how loud he in there talking, man. Look at how loud he in there talking, man. Anything for some ass. I give up the nuclear codes, all the secrets, anything for some ass. Anything for some ass. He don't even know if he's finna get laid. Didn't get laid. Lost his job. Divulged national security secret and didn't even get no coochie, chat. The fuck, Andrew? What the fuck?
Surety just means like all the things to keep it safe. I make sure the people are reliable. There's no psycho people working on the weapons. You don't want a psycho person with access to that stuff.
Andrew Hug is a nuclear and chemical surety branch chief with the U.S. Department of the Army.
What would you do for a Klondike bar, Andrew? Damn. Chad, this shit is... It wasn't any money. She didn't give up any... All she did was come with a tight ass, some perky tits, and a smile, bruh. And got millions of dollars worth of information, bro. What would you do for a Klondike bar, Andrew?
He reveals a surprising amount of detailed information to our undercover journalists about the locations of the U.S. nuclear arsenal and the methods that are being used by the United States to defend against foreign nuclear attacks. To protect U.S. national security interests, we have omitted certain pieces of information from this report.
So you said there's missiles underground in...
Yeah. In the Cold War days, we had them like all over the place. But now we've kind of shrunk them down with Russia working with treaties. But then now you got China that's like, well, I don't have a treaty. So China's building more. They're planning to build more than we got.
Okay,
so
really?
That's the problem. Like we have all these sensors.
And then he got a damn ring on. He's married, chat. Like this man has a fucking ring on. Like he's married, bro. Yeah.
This report.
Look at his ring, chat.
There's missiles underground in...
Yeah. In the Cold War days, we had them like all over the place. But now we've kind of shrunk them down with...
Boom. Y'all see the ring right there, chat? Y'all see the ring? He's married, bruh.
Russia working with treaties. But then now you got China.
The lady's undercover. She's not a reporter. She's out, I guess, supposedly on a date with this guy. She's undercover.
China that's like, well, I don't have a treaty. So China's building more. They're planning to build more than we got.
Okay,
so
really?
That's the problem. Like we have all these sensors in space. We have radars, all these sensors to detect a launch.
Can you detect the launch coming from someone else?
Yeah, with space satellites, with radars, you'll see it on the radar. You actually see the thing flying. You'll know how big it is, the speed. That's a missile. I mean, you can tell all this stuff.
According to Andrew Hug, nuclear officials that oversee the missile launch procedures are trained to initiate a launch even if it is a Girl Scout that presents the launch order with the correct codes.
Fire.
We're literally trained that, if a Girl Scout, this is serious, we were always trained, if a Girl Scout gives you a message, a launch message, she knocks on your door, goes, here you go, she gives you a launch message on a box of cookies, she wrote it down. If it passes all the checks, go. If she just passes it on to you, that's all we're trying to say. No matter how you get it, take action. Because that's how you have to do it in a war, because you don't know.
Yeah.
They can take down most of the communication.
Right.
So it's an extreme example, but we actually would train that. Like, no matter what, you go.
While the example may...
So y'all said, he said, give me another line. So he and this bitch doing powder. He in here sauced up, chat.
They sound humorous. Imagine if this branch chief was actually talking to a Chinese spy. He has now just revealed where our nukes are stored and the exact method we would use to defend ourselves against Chinese nukes. And even revealed that if China wanted to trigger a false launch from the US, all they need is the launch code and a Girl Scout. On a second interaction, Andrew Hug went into details about the war with Iran, confirming that there are no plans to nuke Iran. But in the wake of the February assassination of the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, Hug tells our journalists that President Trump is going to kill his son, Mojtaba Khamenei, if he, quote, doesn't change his ways.
Hey, don't come in here spamming my damn chat, Michael. You come in here with some decorum. When you come in here, take your shoes off and sit your ass down somewhere, Michael. Get Michael out of here. Someone escort Michael the fuck up out of here, man. He don't know how to act. Don't worry about it. We know how to sit your ass down. You don't want to sit down, we gonna sit your ass down.
We're not leaving the school. We're not going to leave it. We're not doing that now.
Yeah.
We're not thinking about nuking anybody.
Do you think we're going to kill one of them?
It's all good. Yeah, I don't know who, but he might kill the next guy, the son.
His son?
Yeah, because the son took over. He won't be any different.
Do you think they would kill his son?
If he doesn't change his ways, then he can kill him.
To which Andrew coldly
tail are consistent with a Tomahawk missile. This new video is the clearest evidence yet that suggests it was the United States that struck an elementary school next to that Revolutionary Guards base, killing scores of students.
To which Andrew coldly replies, quote, "There's been collateral damage. They, meaning kids, always die in war."
I was hearing something that we killed kids in a war. Did we actually?
I'm sure there's been some collateral damage, yeah, for sure. Well, they always die in war, you know, but you fight, I mean, so, but...
But we actually did kill kids out there?
Not intentionally, but yeah. Well, I'm sure we've killed civilians in Iraq, in Iran, look at every single possibility with science.
Chat, is this treason, chat? I see a lot of people floating that treason narrative. Is this treason, chat? Put treason or no treason in the chat, man. Is this treason?
Weapon we're trying to do here, so let's use this weapon versus that weapon. It might be safer. Use the school over here. We identify what's here. It's an apartment building.
Yeah.
But perhaps the most disturbing of all, Andrew Hug details how the U.S. is researching and developing nerve agents or chemical weapons in a laboratory in Aberdeen, Maryland.
So, nerve agent is a chemical weapon that, as you spray it on people, it will make a certain enzyme, which is called cholinesterase. It regulates your neural transmissions, okay?
Well, because he's a part of the U.S. Department of the Army, if he's found guilty of treason, that's punishable by death. He can get the death penalty for that.
So with this chemical, with this nerve agent, it kills that enzyme. And lungs won't work, your heart won't work, nothing will work. We have this here in Maryland.
The nerve agent that Andrew is describing here is sarin. It's a highly toxic human-made organophosphorus. Sarin acts as a potent inhibitor of enzymes, and over time, the binding becomes irreversible. In 1987, the U.S. joined the Chemical Weapons Convention, which bans the development, stockpiling, and use of chemical weapons. The U.S. had about 30,000 tons of chemical weapons, including nerve agents. In July 2023, the U.S. completed destruction of the last declared chemical weapons at the Bluegrass Army Depot in Kentucky. As long as the nerve agents are not weaponized, the U.S. is allowed to conduct research and development for scientific purposes such as preventative treatment. However, this becomes more concerning when Andrew Hug reveals that one of the chemists in that lab was so careless, refusing to wear appropriate safety gear, that she accidentally exposed herself to the nerve agent.
If she was just being lazy and she wore Crocs and she, got lazy.
What? Who's she? Or what?
She's her lab cuss. She's a lab tech. She's supposed to wear all this gear, and she's like, I don't like it. She just wore Crocs and her own clothes.
Yeah.
And so it's soaked in her clothes. And just soaked very well on her skin. So she could literally start touching stuff. Other people would touch like a door, and then people would die.
The journalists also questioned Andrew Hug on Ukraine and whether the diplomats were really using U.S. aid to buy themselves.
Use that money for that when they need it for nuclear weapons.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. But but if they can get themselves rich and leave and go live in Dubai, that's better than they don't care about.
Chat, do y'all think the Ukrainians ran away with the war money? Do you think they took the money and ran, chat? Yes or no? Did Ukraine take the money and run? We know that one guy got caught, but I mean by far and large, chat. Everyone hit the like button. Double tap the screen, shut a live out. Let's hit the algorithm. We have to hit 100 likes before we get to an hour in, man. We 30 minutes in. We not even at the like goal, chat. What? We not even close. Double tap the screen, shut a live out, chat. I need everybody to get the likes up. It's a community effort.
The people? No, they couldn't care less about the people.
Andrew Hug even details that he personally witnessed 10 Ukrainian officials steal $1 million each and immediately spend it on luxury cars.
Like, you tell about Ukraine and how corrupt, and like when I was there, they stole $1 million one day. That was the first thing I saw stolen was $1 million, and they bought these guys that make $350 a month in their political job. Each guy, 10 guys stole $1 million. They each bought a $100,000 car, like BMW 7, Range Rover, all $100,000 cars from the money Obama gave. Yeah.
The branch chief claims he reported it to the Obama White House, to which they replied, quote, "We don't care."
Did anything ever happen with that? Like, is it...
I reported it, and guess what the White House said? We don't care. Don't talk about it. We don't want that in the paper because it makes Obama look bad. It looks like he's not in control. Yeah, they don't care. It's like, it's $1 million. We don't care.
Toward the end of the interaction, Andrew Hug waited for the journalist outside of the bathroom and confronted her, asking whether she is a spy, indicating that Andrew is well aware that the information he was spilling could be severely incriminating if she, in fact, were a spy.
Hey!
She done went to the bathroom. He got to thinking about everything he thought he told, and he was like, fuck, I can't believe I just was talking off that coke, having drinks. Like I said, tight ass, perky tits, cute smile. He spilled the beans, chat. We're 25 likes away from the next like goal, chat. Everyone hit, double tap the screen, go to the top. Make sure you got the like button hit, man. They got him.
That's so sweet.
You're not spying. You're not spying, though, right?
You're just powerful.
But you're not spying, right?
You're just powerful. And I like that. Let's go back to the table. Okay, so...
As political tensions appear to be reaching a boiling point all over the world, and the U.S. officially entered a state of open warfare with Iran, national security and discretion is more important than ever. Andrew Hug is lucky that he was talking to an OMG undercover journalist and not an Iranian spy, as he casually discussed Trump's strategy and intentions. When a top nuclear official is this loose-lipped about our...
Yeah, his ass going to jail, bro. They might try to hit him with the death penalty, chat. Chat, do y'all think they would try to hit him with the death, chat? Death penalty or no death penalty, man? Do y'all think they're going to try to hit this man with the death penalty?
defensive measures, Iranian war plans, locations of nukes, while our country is actively at war, it puts every single one of us in mortal danger. And as always, if you are on the inside of any government agency, federal, state, or local office, and you see corruption, if you know that the American people are being lied to, reach out to us. Email us at tips@o'keefemediagroup.com.
All right. Let's get into some news, chat.
Fox News alert, bridge and power plant day could now be any day of the week. A fierce power struggle breaking out in Iran. And President Trump showing a lot of patience. 47 says U.S. airstrikes have seriously fractured the regime. So Pakistan asked us to hold off.
Karen comes through supporting the channel via Super Chat. Thank you, Karen, for always supporting the channel. I did get your email, Karen. Thank you for those pictures, and I see that the flag that you made. Thank you, Karen, for always supporting the channel. Chat, we do have memberships available. Memberships get you access to 300 past live streams, plus cool-ass emojis, and you get in the book club. We have a book club starting at the first of the month in Discord. All members gain access. Thank you, Karen.
Off on B&P Day until Iran can get it together. Tonight, there could be a coup. No one knows who's calling the shots. Vance, Witkoff, and Kushner were supposed to leave for Islamabad, but they never took off because the Iranian delegation never took off, which is suspicious because this morning, Trump said the gay Ayatollah authorized the deal.
They just got the okay to go forward, which I knew they were going to do anyway. I mean, I don't think they had a choice. They have to negotiate. And, you know, the one thing I'll say is this. Iran can get themselves on a very good footing if they make a deal. They can make themselves into a strong nation again, a wonderful nation again. They have incredible people. But they seem to be, you know, bloodthirsty.
So the gay Ayatollah told his ministers wheels up. But the military.
So do y'all think the Iranians are bloodthirsty? Trump claims the Iranians are bloodthirsty. thirsty, chat. Do you agree or disagree?
Terry said, not so fast. We're basically looking at another Iranian hostage crisis. This time, they've taken themselves hostage, and therefore the negotiations. The IRGC won't agree to sign over the Strait and the uranium, and they're the only votes that matter because they're the ones with the guns. The generals are demanding Trump lift the blockade as a precondition for more peace talks. They want to play an economic game of chicken.
Iran sees this.
Ain't gonna lie, chat. The gays coming up in the world leadership. I mean, you got allegedly Macron. You got the new Ayatollah. You got Zelensky that was tap dancing and shit. Man, I mean, it's like shit, chat.
As a game of endurance. They believe that time is on their side and that ultimately the domestic pressure when it comes to energy markets and the stock market will force President Trump to make a deal that's in their favor. That is not the truth. That is not the reality. The president and his counterparts in Israel have the ability to continue this operation for months if they need to.
It's the Iranians up against the clock. The blockade's already cost them over $1 billion. Checks are bouncing, and their economy's in a death spiral and facing a Great Depression. Scott Bessent says, quote, in a matter of days, Kharg Island storage will be full, and the fragile Iranian oil wells will be shut in. The blockade's turned around 28 ships sailing to or from Iranian ports, most of them oil tankers.
So do y'all think the Iranians won't have anywhere to store this oil? He's saying Kharg Island will be full, and they won't have anywhere to store this oil. So what happens then? I don't know, chat. I think they'll have somewhere to store it. Y'all really don't think they'll have anywhere to store this oil? I wonder what goes on next.
And we took custody of a runner sailing in from China.
Yeah, I see you say world recession coming, fuel prices doubling in some countries. Yes, but what happens when the strait opens? The market will be flooded. The market's going to be flooded, and I wonder how that's going to be, how the markets are going to react. You know, it'll be max pressure, and then they'll just dump all of those barrels of oil onto the market. So I'm pretty sure they're pricing it in. They're going to try to make money on the way up and the way down.
China with missile ingredients.
We caught a ship yesterday that had some things on it which wasn't very nice. A gift from China, perhaps. I don't know. But I was a little surprised, but because I have a very good relationship, and I thought I had an understanding.
Thank you, Big Niche. Everyone hit the like button right now. Make sure you have the like button hit. Why though? 369 says you don't know anything about the market. I know enough. I never said I was an expert, but if you want to call in, why though 369 and tell us everything that's going on, I'll open up the phone lines to you and you only. You said I know nothing about the market, so that implies you know a lot about it. My phone line is open to you and you only. Ask for the phone number and I will drop it. I want to hear you talk. Put your money where your mouth is. Let us know. Don't gatekeep.
Standing with President Xi, but that's all right. That's the way war goes, right?
And it just got worse for the enemy. The Navy boarded another vessel from their shadow fleet, the Tiffany. How cute. A sanctioned tanker carrying 2 million barrels of Iranian crude sailing to Shanghai. No bueno. The blockade's ripple effect is hitting Beijing. Choke points are getting squeezed from the Gulf to the Strait of Malacca. It just so happens that we conducted joint naval exercises with the Japanese in the South China Sea.
Thank you, Alice.
Just finished up joint live fire training with the Philippines. Xi's losing friends fast. The president putting pressure on the Middle Kingdom to make its proxy give up the dust. Vance isn't flying halfway across the world to Pakistan for nothing.
This could have a salutary ending. What are the chances of that? I think probably 2 in 3 right now, 65%. They're not sending the vice president over there to walk away again. They really think there'll be a deal. I think there's a 2 in 3.
But we have to remember, too, that there were reports coming out that they might have tried to take J.D. Vance out. OG Yosemite comes through supporting the channel via Super Chat. Thank you, OG Yosemite, for your continued support. But remember, chat, when J.D. Vance went over there the last time, there were reports that they might try to take J.D. Vance out and blame it on Iran. Do y'all remember those reports that were coming out, chat? And now we got J.D. Vance is not going over there at all. He's still in D.C. Mike Huckabee's been called back to D.C. and Kushner and Witkoff haven't went anywhere anyway. Y'all don't remember when they said J.D. Vance might have been a security threat?
Every chance we get to it.
And if you watched primetime last night, General Petraeus also seemed optimistic about a deal. He just didn't think it'd happen today. And he was right. Our patience may be running thin, but our stockpile isn't.
It's not my choice, but it will also hurt them. It'll hurt them militarily. They use the bridges for their...
This is the thing. You said, why is he going to go over there to negotiate when Iran said they're not even going to show up? Just being a diplomat, you know, showing good faith, like, hey, we showed up, we're willing to negotiate. Y'all aren't showing up. You know, this is playing out on the world stage. So right now, a lot of the world thinks America's the bad guys. A lot of the world thinks Iran is the bad guys. So showing up, even though they might not have showed up, would have been a good faith effort. Like, hey, look, we have the blockade going. We are threatening to blow y'all the fuck up, but we're still, trying to be diplomatic. We are still trying to be diplomatic.
Weapons for their missile movements. You know, they're trying to move the missiles because we've obliterated most of their missiles, and they're trying to move their missiles around, even during the ceasefire, which I think was a good thing because we're totally loaded up. We have so much ammo. We have so much of everything that we've, like, much more powerful than it was 4 or 5 weeks ago. So we've used this to restock, and they probably have done a little bit of restocking.
Over the last 24 hours, we're seeing heavy Air Force activity. Major resupplies coming in from...
I see you said, guys, Iran is not the only source for oil. Well, right now, the beneficiaries from what's going on with the Strait of Hormuz being closed is only Russia and the United States primarily. We've seen, 45 oil refineries be hit over the last month and a half. 45 globally. 45 oil refineries have been hit in a month and a half. The only beneficiaries truly of this is America and Russia. So yes, you are correct there. Iran is not the only source for oil. Chat, we are 23 likes away from 100. We got to get to 100 likes right quick. Everyone double tap the screen. Make sure you have hit the like button.
From American bases in Europe. Plus, the USS Gerald Ford just re-entered the Red Sea. And by Saturday, we'll have all 3 carrier strike groups, the Ford, Lincoln, and Bush, in theater. We might unwrap some new toys. The Marines just unveiled a new shore-to-shore landing ship designed to deliver 800 tons of troops, weapons, supplies.
What's up, Shirley?
Directly to beachheads. Getting its last coat of paint is the lead ship, the USS McClung, named after a Marine major who was killed in combat in Iraq. The first...
You said you do know Iran got their missiles from China, but they only had the electronic blueprint that was smuggled out of China into Iran, and now they got this super fast. Kurt, I covered this. Even before, when it came to the Venezuela conflict, I didn't see the whole picture at the time, but it makes more sense. Hindsight is 2020. But right before Trump went and got Maduro, within the same week that Trump went and got Maduro, chat, what happened? China's private sector announced the hypersonic missiles that were coming in at $100,000 cost, $99,000 to make. They said they were mass producing them. They were using concrete and other materials, and they had perfected it in the private sector, and they were ready to bring it to market. That same week, Maduro was snatched, and we put the blockade around the Caribbean. Around Cuba. Right before that. It's all happening. Blockade Cuba, boom. Maduro snatched, boom. China makes the announcement right before Maduro snatched.
Female graduate of the U.S. Naval Academy to be killed in action. Our anti-sub aircraft, the P-8 Poseidon, has been surveilling the strait from the skies, and they're working overtime. So KC-135 Stratotankers are refueling them midair. We're locked and loaded. CENTCOM Commander Admiral Brad Cooper went to Israel last week, where he approved joint plans for a brand new target bank, which include energy and infrastructure and whatever missile launchers the regime dug out of the rubble. The ceasefire gave us time not only to resupply and acquire new targets, but a fresh batch of human intelligence came in. Any leader who poked his head out in the last 2 weeks is a goner. The alliance has spies all up and down Iran. So the next round of airstrikes will be devastating if it happens. Hard to know exactly what's happening inside the ranks, but sources tell Primetime the military sidelined the mullahs and are keeping the gay Ayatollah alive as a figurehead while they assert.
Oh, on the Virginia gerrymandering election, yeah, the Democrats won. They gerrymandered the hell out of Virginia. Yeah, it's crazy. I think the Republicans only have 9 seats right now. They gerrymandered the hell out of Virginia. We'll get into that in a minute, though, chat.
Negotiations. They basically have a gun to the head of the negotiators, and now everyone's afraid of getting killed. Not just by the Americans, but by the Iranian military. It appears that there's already been somewhat of a soft military coup, and as the blockade keeps breaking the country's bank, there could be a coup within the military. The generals are having to decide the best way to hold on to power. Is it in a post-deal Iran, or is it in a state of constant warfare? No idea. This would be like if the enemy took out Trump, Vance, and the entire cabinet in 40 seconds, knocked out our entire military, plus all of our defense contractors, and had North America surrounded with carriers. And then Speaker Mike Johnson was supposed to fly overseas for peace talks, and a bunch of 2-star generals pulled out a gun and said, Mike, you're not going anywhere. For the first time in a long time, the president doesn't have a deadline. It's unusual for him, which tells me he's going to watch it unfold, feel it out, and a deal or an attack could happen at any minute.
This shit is crazy, chat. All right, let's get into hold on, chat. Double tap the screen, share the live out, man. That shit is crazy, man. Where's the other clip at? All right, here we go. Y'all wanted to see the gerrymandering. That's what y'all wanted to cover right quick. We'll cover the gerrymandering, and then we'll get into the game theory, and we'll get into Detroit trying to attract residents. Detroit's going hard trying to attract residents right now. What did y'all Virginia gerrymandering? Yeah, redistricting is what they like to call it, man. Let's get into it. Everyone hit the like button, chat. We have to hit we have to hit 100 likes right quick. All right, I got it right here. Are we at 100 likes, chat? Somebody get the like counter going, man. Are we at 100 likes, chat? Everyone double tap the screen, chat. We got to hit 100 likes before we hit the first hour, man. There we go.
We have some breaking news tonight, as CNN can now project that Virginia voters have approved a Democratic plan to dramatically redraw the state's congressional map. 92% of the results are in, with just over 51% voting yes on the ballot measure.
Jose said, try to ask politely. Jose, no. It's either you gonna hit the like button or you not, man. I'm not in here to coddle you and shit, man. It's either you gonna hit the like button or you fucking not. It's either you support this shit or you don't. I'm not finna ask you politely, man.
Now, if this map is enacted, it means Democrats could win 10 out of the state's 11 congressional districts, which would boost the party at large in the fight for control of Congress. Harrington is here to join us. And Harry, obviously, there were a lot of questions of how this would go tonight. Tell us what we're seeing in these numbers so far.
Yeah, I would just say, look, the yes side won. Yes, they are probably going to end up lower than the percentage that Kamala Harris won in terms of the margin. But you know what? A win is a win is a win. And this means a lot for Virginia. And I will just note, just look at this. They have been.
Jose, man, listen, I need you to find where your shoes at, Jose. You talking a little shit, so just go. I know what's finna come, so go ahead and find your shoes and keys and shit, because I don't think you're going to make it through the rest of the cookout, Jose. Chat, we 2 likes away from 100, man. Double tap the screen, go to the top, hit the 3 dots, make sure the like button is hit, man. Yeah, Jose need to get to looking for his shoes and shit. He need to go and find his belongings.
basically going to gerrymander this state rotten. They are basically going to lock Republicans out of power in a state where Donald Trump got 46% of the vote back in 2024. House seats Republicans in Virginia are only going to really end up with 9%. That is quite the imbalance that's going on here, right? Of course, this is part of a larger national picture as well in terms of redistricting. And this, to me, is what is so interesting, right? Oh, we've had all this redistricting, right? It started in Texas. Then it was California. We've done Ohio. We've done North Carolina. We've done Utah. But heading into tonight, pre-Virginia results, the net gain from this mid-decade redistricting was really 0 seats, neither side gaining. But now is where we are right now with the Virginia measure passing. Democrats jump out ahead. They are the ones leading in mid-decade redistricting, leading right now by 4 seats on the strength of that yes vote, however thin that margin actually is.
So, Harry, I mean, obviously, Senator Warren was just
What's
talking
up,
about 6 months
Spitfire?
from now, the midterm elections. What could this mean for the fight for who controls Congress here?
Yeah, I mean, if you know anything about the House of Representatives, and you're down in Washington,
What's
D.C.,
up,
so you know
Scotty?
a heck of a lot more than I do, I would just say this. The power right now, it's so tight, right? Every vote is so tight in the U.S. House of Representatives. So you just take a look here, and this gives you the math of why this vote was so important. If you talk about the margin of the GOP majority in the House post the 2024 election, it was 2 seats, 2 seats. That's how many seats they could lose on a vote before losing the majority. Now, all of a sudden, we're talking about Democrats gaining 1, 2.
Chat, I'm gonna ask y'all this. Do you plan on voting all on the for the same ticket, man? Do you plan on going there and voting Democrat across the board? Do you plan on going in there and voting Republican across the board? Will you vote clean down the list, chat? Will you vote clean down the list, or are you gonna go in there and look at every situation differently? How are y'all gonna vote, chat?
3, 4 seats. 4 seats in Virginia. The simple math here is 4 is greater than 2. Without Democrats needing to pick up any more seats, this would eliminate the Republican majority and instill a Democratic majority because the margins are so tight. This vote in Virginia means so very much, and that's why all that money was spent on it. My goodness gracious.
Yeah, a ton of money. Harry, thank you for doing that math for us.
I know, it's very hard, very hard.
This is why we keep you around.
That's right.
Harry Ensign, thank you for that. For more on this, my political sources are here tonight. Jermichael, what's your assessment of what's happening?
I mean, look, I'm not happy about this. What we're seeing is a gradual destruction of...
You said you're not voting for Kamala, that's for sure. I'm talking about midterms, but even if we go to 2028, it's like, shit, well, who? Buttigieg? Gavin Newsom's gonna get his ass towed up. I'm just gonna be honest with you, chat. And when it comes time for the mudslinging to come out, man, they finna tear Gavin Newsom ass cat raggedy, man. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Drinking with the 19-year-old when he was 38, allegedly giving her booze, man. Banging his best friend's wife on the campaign trail. All of the homeless money just going down a fucking funnel. The water and the fires. And I'm just gonna be honest with you, Chad. Gavin Newsom gonna have to have some punches. He's gonna have to play dirty to come out, man. Just gonna be honest with you.
in our country. So what happens when you create an atmosphere and an environment where compromise no longer exists? Yeah, maybe this is good for Democrats today, but is it good for the long run? Probably not. For 4 years, there was an argument from my friends on the other side about democracy falling in darkness. Well, how in the hell is this preserving democracy? And look, I'm not saying that one side over the other doesn't gerrymander. Hell, they all gerrymander. It's just not a good thing at all. The American people don't benefit from this. And as someone who resides in Virginia, where you have, what, 40+% of the state that voted for the current president, rather, leaving only one Republican congressional seat seems to be in force of democracy and protecting the Constitution and the preservation of these great ideals? I would think not.
I'm just gonna be honest with the black guy right here. It's like Texas started this shit. I'm just gonna be honest. When it comes to it, chat, y'all know how I am. It's like, hey, look, man, you can't hit somebody in the fucking mouth and not expect to be hit back. Texas started the gerrymandering shit. I'm just gonna be honest. Abbott started that shit. They wanted Jasmine Crockett the fuck out the way. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
I mean, what do you say to that? Because that was a question we asked a lot of Democrats once they launched their own redistricting efforts after we saw what happened in Texas. But a lot of them argued to us was, well, if the Republicans are doing it, we're also going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, the real problem here is that Republicans launched a mid-decade redistricting project in Texas. Virginia came up with its results, but Florida is likely to redistrict in the next couple of days. In fact, they held off for the vote. I think for.
I'm with you when you write, Jennifer said we need a regular, everyday, blue-collar American running the country. To hell with all of these people. Now, I'm not going to necessarily say it got to be somebody blue-collar, but we need to clean the swamp. We need everybody that's in power to get the fuck out the way. Watch out. We got it. Straight up. We got it, man. Baby boomers, man. I'm sorry, man. We got it, man. Watch out for a second. We got it. We're almost to the point of no return. Watch out. We got it.
Political reasons, but they are likely to redistrict. So at the end of the day, I think Democrats and Republicans will roughly match out to be equal. We don't know what Florida will do. I think maybe they'll be concerned that redistricting could end up, they could end up losing some of those seats because there could be such a great wave. But I think the truth is that Democrats have supported a nationwide ban on partisan gerrymandering. Republicans have opposed that. This was a part of legislation they tried to pass in the last cycle. Republicans have opposed that. I believe that we should have a nationwide ban on partisan gerrymandering. The real thing that set this all off was Donald Trump called into Texas and asked them, not by.
Honestly, she's not lying. Trump did call, and what Trump said was, give me seats. How many seats did he ask for? He said, give me, I forgot how many seats he asked for in Texas. Trump really started this shit, chat. Now that Texas got the ball rolling, but Trump did make the call. She's not lying. I remember covering it.
Anyone voting, but just ask the legislature to change. And in California
and Greg Abbott didn't really say shit, man. I'm just going to be honest. Greg Abbott didn't say a motherfucking thing. Just like DeSantis was talking all of that hot shit about how he's not going to let AI ruin the great state of Florida. And Trump put that executive order down and he shut the fuck up. He just shut the fuck up. That's crazy to me. Now, one thing about it, chat, y'all know I call out the left and I call out the right. But one thing about the fucking Democrats, they ass fought. Gavin Newsom fought. We saw Pritzker fight. We even saw Tim Walz ass fight. Why the fuck did DeSantis not fight? Why did Greg Abbott not fight? If you just came out talking about this shit, DeSantis, you made a whole spectacle, a fucking press conference. I watched it, and then once executive order comes down, you just shut the fuck up. You changed the whole conversation. You talking about some other shit.
in Virginia, at least they asked the voters to weigh in. This is very different than what happened in Texas. Voters have said they would like to move forward on this because they recognize the stakes with Trump ending accountability through gerrymandering mid-decade.
Scott, what's your take?
Virginia literally had the fairest maps in the nation. They had a 6-5 map, 6 Democrats, 5 Republicans. In terms of proportional representation, they had the fairest map in the nation that was drawn, by the way, by an independent commission that the voters asked for just a few years ago. Now they will have the least fair maps in the nation.
That's what I'm saying, chat. Like, some of these people in Congress, like, I don't agree with everything they say, some of these people on Capitol Hill, but I can respect somebody dying on their sword, man. Like, when it came to Marjorie Taylor Greene, she drew a line and she was willing to die on their sword. When it comes to Thomas Massey, he drew his line, he was willing to die on their sword, man. Like, this is what we need out of these people, man. It's too much of this shit going on. Yes, they're all corrupt. Yes, they're all corrupt. Both sides.
And I'm not surprised that the yes vote won. They had all the money and all the lies. And sometimes in politics, when you got those two things, you can put something over the line. Even something as egregious as this whole thing has driven Spamberger's approval ratings down into the toilet.
Right. Even when you talking about Gavin Newsom, his scamming ass, he drew his line with the National Guard. Same thing with ICE and the other stuff. They drew their line. Somebody has to stand for something, bro. Somebody has to stand for fucking something, bro.
She lied to the people of Virginia. They had to write a ballot question that was a joke. They drew maps that were a joke. Now you're going to have huge chunks of rural Virginia represented by 5 or 6 Democrats who all live in Northern Virginia within about 15 miles of each other. It's a complete joke. Everybody knows it. And there's a reason that all these national Democrats and all their money came into Virginia because, you know, they don't really care about the people of Virginia. They just care about power.
I mean, if we could just put that new map back, Nero, I want you to Respond to that, but if we could just put that new map back.
Okay, that's the new map, chat. This is how Virginia was on the left. Is how it was prior to today's vote. After today's vote, it is like the right. That one red dot, that is all one district. That is all one district, that big red on the right. And the Democrats gained all of those other districts, everything else. So it started off as the left and it ended up as the right, chat.
I mean, that's back up that you can see, obviously, what the proposed districts that were on this ballot look like.
I mean, here's the thing. Unlike in Texas and other states, in Texas and Florida, they are not putting this up to the voters, right? Republicans, I don't know, they have a lot of money in their coffers. As far as I can see, the RNC has a lot more money than Democrats.
Who spent
a
more?
lot of them?
But you know what the difference is?
But they may not have spent more because you know you're going to lose.
Hey, B-Money, what I tell you about this shit, man, I told you, you come in here, you say what's up to me, and you say what's up to my chat, man. B-Money, I done told you about this, how we handle this shit over here, man. Your ass gonna get banned from the club, all right? You say third party is winning. Okay, B-Money, what's up, man? What's up, B-Money? I need you to say what's up, B-Money. When I see you coming in here, I'm recognizing your name and shit now. You gotta speak, bro. You gotta speak, B-Money. What's to you? Hey, you said blah, 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 B-Money. Find your motherfucking shoes. Them beat up ass forces you wore him, find them. Go on, get your eyes on them because I know you're not going to last long. Go on, find your shoes, get your keys and shit together. Go on, pack him up a lunch plate and shit, man. We gonna send them out full tonight because B-Money comes through. We not going to send them out on an empty stomach. But B-Money, find your damn shoes. Get his doggy bag and shit ready for him, man.
The issue is, here's what motivated people in Virginia. The fact is that because Donald Trump decided to do a mid-decade redistrict in Texas, people believed that in order to level the playing field, you needed to ensure that Virginia acted.
But you know what the difference is?
Ridiculous is
what's
the one thing just to say, no.
With Texas,
neither one of you said a word about Texas.
Well, that's not true. I actually talked a lot about Texas,
where was Scott
and I wasn't happy about that. But let me just say this: the difference is Democrats have a number of seats still in the state of Texas. Now we can disagree on whether this made sense morally, ethically. That's a fair point. But in Virginia.
What's up, Brandon? They call me Plug. I am the voice of the politically homeless. I don't care if you're far left, far right, liberal, conservative, Marxist, fascist, alien, NPC. You could come in this chat and call this place home, man. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, all that shit don't matter to me. I'm going to speak my opinion. I will not let y'all opinions sway my opinion. I'm going to say fuck everybody. If you want to come in here and know what I'm going to say on the show, I congratulate people when they do good, and I talk about the shit that they do bad. Honestly, I don't trust a motherfucking soul. I don't trust any of these commentators. I don't trust anybody on Capitol Hill. I don't trust anybody in the state government. I only trust people in the local government because I went to school with them a little bit. I'm just going to be honest. That's me. We need to burn this shit to the ground, man. We need to restart, reset. We need to just have our goals and our focuses on these next few elections because it's time to make a fucking change, man. It's time to make a change. Where they don't care about the kids. They don't care about us as Americans. They don't care about anything but lining their pockets on the way up and on the way down. We're in the middle of the greatest rug pull in history. They're about to leave us high and fucking dry, and we don't have long to stop it, man. That's my take.
Virginia, you're eliminating all but one.
They took 5
all but one. That's basic math. How is that at all fair? How's that fair?
You didn't give Texans
How's
the right
that fair?
to vote. You didn't put it up to a ballot proposition.
The question is, but how is it fair in Virginia?
The legislature,
Republicans with one. Would you be okay if we left Democrats with one congressional seat?
You know what I would be okay with? I would be okay with a ban on partisan gerrymandering across the country. And I wish you guys.
You said talk about the destroyer that got struck in the Red Sea with those missiles. I haven't heard about the destroyer getting sunk. I did hear about them having the largest LGBTQ festival over there. What is that? The Dead Sea or the Red Sea? One of those seas over there. They having the largest LGBTQ festival, a 4-day-long festival over there.
Michael, that when the president, so clearly wanted this to happen in Texas, that it did set off this kind of arms race.
Of course it is.
And now it's resulted in this?
That's my initial point. This is not good for the country. Like, I'm a conservative. Hell yes, I want my side to do well. I strongly believe in my principles, and I presume Near here cares a lot about her side, and she wants to see Democrats do well. But how in the hell is this good for democracy?
You said tell that to all of your black brothers that voted for Trump. Listen, man, I'm just glad that my black brothers are voting at this point, man. I'm just gonna be honest. Everybody doesn't make the right call every time, but I'm not gonna kick them while they down, man. It's fucked up right now. We hope it get better, but in all honesty, I'm just glad my black brothers are voting. A lot of them got felonies. A lot of them don't care to vote. A lot of them aren't even in tune, honestly.
When both sides believe there is no interest in incentivizing on anything. We don't have to compromise. We don't have to figure it out. We don't have to work things out, because you know what? We'll have one red state, one blue state. There will be no purple states. There will be no party in the middle. How does that move things forward when you look at the things that this country is currently struggling with? On the economic front, the education front, healthcare. You have China, our greatest adversary, that are moving leaps and bounds ahead, and we can't even govern ourselves appropriately. This should make any person in this country happy about where we are.
You know, I agree. I just think the way to have dealt with this is to have a ban on gerrymandering in any of these states. Mid-decade redistricting is really something has really happened very rarely. North Carolina did a few years ago, but we should really most people are used to decennial. Most states are used to it, like doing it every decade. We should do it, and we should actually abandon all this. And I wish Republicans had joined the Democrats.
Scott, if you were a member of Congress, would you vote to ban gerrymandering?
Well, I actually am rather protective of the states making these decisions.
That's a no.
Would you vote for the states to ban gerrymandering, chat? Ban or no ban in the chat? Ban or no ban for gerrymandering in the chat? Let's do a live poll, chat. We're 25 likes away from the next like goal. Everyone double tap the screen right now. Are you ban or unban gerrymandering? I'm kind of with the guy right here. I say we leave it to the states, chat. That's how I was. I got a lot of flack for that. Even before I started this channel, when I was doing my other channel, the crypto channel, when they overturned Roe v. Wade and put it back to the states, I was like, well, shit, it's states' rights. It's states' rights. I'm for states' rights. And that's why I'm looking at the GOP and these Republicans like, what the fuck happened to states' rights? Like, what's up with all of this federal overreach? What's up with all of these mandates and giving up our rights for the betterment of a stronger military? What I thought y'all said the Democrats was gonna do that. What the fuck happened? I'm just being honest.
I don't really have a problem with states making decisions about this. What I have a problem with in this case, look, Texas did what they did. They had a right to do it. Virginia did what they did. What I have a problem with in Virginia is you had a fair map, and you also had an independent commission draw it, and you also had the new governor, tell the people of Virginia during the campaign she wasn't going to do it. So this whole thing was built on lies, and the ballot question, if you read it, was a total joke. You showed the map of the districts. They're a complete joke. And so I think what they've done is they basically disenfranchised 90% of the state.
It's against democracy.
Yeah, I look at it like everything, like even with the different gun laws. Like, I'm in the South, the deep South. California, New York gun laws don't really, that's not what I'm here for, and that's cool. They can do what they do over there. The southern states do what they do. When it comes to Roe v. Wade, same thing. The states doing it. But when it comes to AI, they put a cap on this shit. When it comes to AI, Trump was like, nah, fuck that. Executive order. States have no rights when it comes to AI. And all of the Republicans were just cool with it. They act like nothing fucking happened. And I'm like, what?
I live in Virginia. I'm a Republican voter in Virginia. I would never do this to Democrats. I don't agree with Democrats on a whole lot of issues.
So you disagree with it?
There's no way I would do this.
You disagree with it on a moral front, and you just on a principle front.
Of course.
But politically, I mean, if you're Mike Johnson tonight and you're looking at this, how does that make you feel about November?
I mean, look, you'd be pretty pissed off, but I'll tell you this: other Republican states are going to do the same thing. And Democrats should not be surprised if there's one congressional district or if there's 0 congressional districts, because that is where we are now.
All right, chat, we finna get into this clip right here. It's a debate. Andrew Wilson debated Constantine on women's voting rights, chat. This is a crazy topic because, I mean, women do already have the right to vote, but I don't know. We finna see what's going on.
So describe to me the America that you want. What does it look like? What are the...
You mean by tomorrow?
Oh,
well,
shit,
let's
I
say
missed
have
the
King
super
tomorrow.
chat.
Well...
Hold on, Chad. Chad says, Chad comes through supporting the channel via Super Chat. Should be independent commissions, not created by the officials who benefit. Banning states doesn't mean the feds do it. Thank you for that comment, Chad. Thank you for that comment, Chad. Why are y'all saying boycott Muslims? Why do y'all want to boycott the Muslims? I'm not Muslim, but I just want to know why y'all want to boycott the Muslims.
You seemed very keen on this idea, which
Yeah.
I'm sure you're excited about. What I mean is, ultimately, you want to transform America into something that it used to be or that you'd like it to be or whatever. Let's not argue about that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's just say you want America to be a certain way. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay, what does it look like?
Do I believe illegals should be able to vote? Nah, hell nah. I mean, shit, nah.
Once you've got to that destination, once you've got to that perfect America, which represents your values as someone who's really interested in Christianity being the dominant force in society. What
Well,
can you do? What you can't?
yeah.
How is it different from what we have today?
So
The fuck is this going on?
Would women be allowed to vote?
I mean, to at least the degree that men are, but I don't want men to vote for the most part either. I don't think it's a great idea.
But
I
it
wanna
would be
contract
equal
it.
between men and women in your view. Really? It doesn't sound
don't-
like it. If you want
What do you mean?
household, well, what I mean is, it sort of sounds like. Well, forgive me if I'm misunderstanding this. Genuinely.
Sure, but the thing is like
sometimes in a good direction.
Sure, and sometimes in a bad direction.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I can't get jiggy with that, man. I don't know how they got this shit edited up, clipped up, but we finna move on from that, man. I don't know, Chad. I don't know who clipped that shit up, bro, but that's not it, bro. That's not it right there, man. The editor needs to get on their job. That's just not it, bro.
There has been so far a 2-week ceasefire between Iran and the United States. The ceasefire is supposed to end.
You said people don't actually read the Quran, do you? I know some people who study like all religious texts, like they're in deep, Chad. I mean, they study the Quran, they study the Torah, they study the Bible, they study the ancient tablets. Like I know some people who are locked in, bro, like locked in.
Tomorrow. And right now, the Americans have gone to Islamabad to negotiate a possible peace treaty. The Iranians may go, they may not go, we don't know yet. It is entirely possible that the Iranians will go to Islamabad, and it's entirely possible that they will negotiate a ceasefire, a peace treaty that ends the war. But unfortunately, this war will not end.
I'm not gonna lie, Chad, I've never had a Quran. I don't think I've ever touched the Quran. I'm just gonna be honest.
So a lot of people believe that this war, it is just because Donald Trump has decided to go to war with Iran for whatever reason.
Yeah, classified.
But that's not true. This war in Iran is actually part of a larger strategic vision that the United States has to maintain its empire. Okay, and today I want to explain why that is the case and how this war will progress. But first, I want to look at some recent events from these past 2 weeks. One of the big news these past 2 weeks is that there are a lot of oil refineries that are afire. Okay, they've been alight. So even as the world is being cut off from 20% of energy from the Middle East, there are lots of oil refineries that are being destroyed. Okay, so this is from Russia, and this is actually Russia's largest oil refinery. As you can see, it is pretty extensive.
I'm just saying though, chat, why do y'all feel like that about the Muslims, but y'all don't feel like that about other groups of religious people, man, that are pretty fucking crazy? You know, I think that's a little crazy, chat. It's like, it's some other religions out here that get busy, man. Like, why do y'all just have that feeling towards the Muslims? I'm just wondering. Like, it's always the Muslims.
Okay? But this is not Russia. It is actually a lot.
Like, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Muslims aren't the only, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, man.
Other places. So this is Myanmar, and these are 10 oil tankers. So there are a lot of oil refineries.
You said what are most terrorists? I'm gonna be honest. Shit, it's close, man. It's close. It's close between the Middle Easterners and the whites, man. If you want to ask, but most terrorists, man, it's close, man. Between the history, man, it's between the Middle Easterns and the whites, man. Just gonna be honest, man. Neck and neck, neck and neck.
That are being destroyed right now. We don't know why this is happening, but there's a lot. Okay, there's already been over 50 oil refineries that have been on fire these past 45 days. Another thing that's been happening is that...
See, y'all don't like it when I keep it real, chat. Y'all wanted me to say it was just going to be the Middle Easterners, but when I keep it real, everybody want to leave the chat and get the, clutching their pearls and shit. How could he say that? Shit, you just asked a fucking black American what are most terrorists. Nigga, like, who are you talking to, nigga? It's neck and neck. It's close, nigga. We might have to get a photo finish. What you talking about?
Even though there's a ceasefire in effect, the Americans have imposed a blockade on Iran. And the Americans have escalated the situation by boarding and basically taking over an Iranian ship returning from China, okay? So let's just look at some of the footage. So what happened was that the Iranian ship was returning from China, and the Americans suspected that the ship had important fuel and components for ballistic missiles. The Americans tried to board the ship. The ship would not stop. The Americans fired at the engine, and then they boarded.
See, this is crazy. You got people like him. Who is this? Let me get on his ass, right? Hold on. Allen, a black American, so the luckiest blacks in the world. No, it's not about being the luck. It's about timing. It's about timing. We're the luckiest group of Americans in the world because we're Americans in this time and place. Had it been a few years prior, a couple decades prior, I might not have been able to say that shit. Had it been 100 years prior, I definitely wouldn't be able to say that shit. And that goes for all Americans, not just black Americans. Shit used to be a little fucked up. Medicine has gotten better. Travel has gotten better. Food has gotten better. Everything has just gotten better because we're in fucking America in 2026, man. Like, the luckiest blacks in the world. No, nigga, the timing. The fuck wrong with you?
The ship with special forces, okay? And this is what would be considered an act of piracy. And before the Secretary of...
Shit got better for you because of timing. 100 years ago, your ass might have died for some chicken pox. Allen, 100 years ago, your ass got a strong sunburn. You might have croaked the fuck over. What are you talking about? Shit, medicine helped your ass too. Timing.
Of War, Peter Hegseth, he before complained that you have to let ships freely navigate in the seas. But he's also said that it's perfectly okay for the Americans to steal ships. Okay.
To be clear, threatening to shoot missiles and drones at ships, commercial ships that are lawfully transiting international waters, that is not control. That's piracy. That's terrorism. Certainly Venezuela.
Okay, so you understand. So the fact that Iran has closed off the Strait of Hormuz and threatened to attack ships with drones and ballistic missiles, that is wrong. That is...
Yeah, Dwayne, they want to start their rage baiting, but they know I'm here for it. And I don't got the panel open or call-ins. I'd sit here and talk shit all night. It's what I do. I talk shit all that. Let's be honest, man. We live, what a time to be alive. You couldn't 100 years ago, you couldn't just go travel freely. You didn't have $100, $200 to get you a one-way to go wherever the fuck you wanted to go same day. Your ass had to get on a train. Your ass had to move for work and shit. Now you can work from home. Your ass didn't have DoorDash. Your ass didn't have Uber Eats. Yes, we live like kings in America because of the timing. Shit was fucked up not too long ago. You, Alan, talking about you talk ignorance all night. It's fine them. You sound real ignorant. Well, listen to this, Alan. What we gonna do is we gonna put you in a quick timeout. We gonna sit your little ass in the corner, Alan, for about 5 minutes so you can just watch this shit. And when you come off a timeout, you get wrong again, we gonna send you home without a doggy bag, man. How about that, Alan?
Piracy, unless the Americans do this, okay? Unless the
Put his ass in timeout, chat. Go cry in the corner, Alan. Everybody double tap the screen. We need 25 more likes, chat. We need 25 more likes. Alan ain't gone yet. He in the corner. He getting his mind right. He thinking about what he did.
Americans do this.
As well as taking notice of that, and it continues because 2 oil tankers, 2 overnight, were seized by the United States of America, stateless or sanctioned, because the oil blockade, the quarantine of oil out of unsanctioned or stateless, sanctioned or stateless vessels continues. That leverage will continue as Secretary Rubio outlined. So, as you've seen today.
Okay, so does that make sense? It is wrong for the world to be pirates and to seize ships, but it's okay for the United States to do this because the United States is the one that sets the rules for the world. Duh. Okay. So
chat, I want to do a live poll right now. We're 25 likes away from the next like goal. If you're enjoying the content, put good time in the chat if you're enjoying the content. But I want to ask, is Pete Hegseth qualified in your opinion? Is Pete Hegseth qualified to lead the Department of War in your opinion?
This war is not going well for the United States. This is Rick Scott, and he's a senator from Florida. And he explains that it doesn't really matter if the war is not going well for the United States because what's happening is that we're hurting China, and that's what's important.
How do you feel like the war in Iran, which is sort of in a ceasefire right now, how do you feel like this is going? Should the U.S. wrap this up, get out of there now, or do you think there's more to do there?
I appreciate that Trump's trying to get rid of the nuclear weapons. I don't want to die by a nuclear weapon from Iran. They wanted to kill us. I mean, this appeasement of bullies. I don't know if in your life if that's worked for you guys.
Who is this guy speaking, chat? Who is this guy speaking?
It's never worked for me, and so they wanted to kill us. So they're getting close to be in a position to kill us, and they basically have been killing Americans.
Hold on, Mud Butters. You talking about do Travis need some money? Hell no. Donate to the channel. Who the fuck is Travis? Why are you offering Travis some money, man? Donate to the channel. Ain't no transactions going on in this motherfucker. If I don't get no ends, what you mean? Do Travis need some money? Hell no. Hell no, Travis don't need shit.
So I think what Trump did is the right thing. Now, I think he has to get them in a position that they don't have the ability to do nuclear weapons or ballistic missiles. I think that's where we have to go.
Yeah, the hell no. This shit, hey, no, I need a cut. I'm the house. This the house. What kind of dealings y'all got going on? I'm the house. I need a percentage. Where my curb? You talking about Travis needs some money? Hell no.
I don't know what the right approach is going to be. I think blocking the Strait of Hormuz.
And look at Travis being real. Look at Travis saying, amen, brother, your channel deserves that money. I sure don't. Look at Travis not being a hater, man. W's in the chat for Travis, man. W's in the chat for Travis not being a hater, man. Straight up, I need my curb, Mud Butters.
Is fine from my standpoint. If no oil ever goes to China again and their economy is destroyed, that would be a really wonderful day for me.
Okay, do you guys understand? The Americans may lose this war, but if the end result is that China no longer gets any oil from the Middle East and the economy is destroyed, it's worth it. All right? Okay, even now.
You said, all right, who wants this money? Mud Butter, send the damn super chat, man. Quit teasing, man. Send the damn super chat. Support the channel, man. You want the Cash App, PayPal, all that shit, Plugsation, man. You know how to get this shit to me. You know how to get this shit over here, Mud Butters.
Even at this late stage, we're about 50 days into this war, the Americans have yet to explain why this war started in the first place. So this is Carrie Livet, and she was asked by a reporter again why this war started. And this is her response.
He said yesterday for the first time that he had to strike Iran because he believes that Iran was going to strike U.S. targets within 7 days. And then he bumped that down later to 3 days. Where is he getting that?
Well, that's not the first time the president has said that he chose to launch Operation Epic Fury because he felt as though Iran was going to strike the United States and our assets in the region first.
Yeah, Mud Butters said, look at me controlling the chat with money. Mud Butters, you stuck your foot in your mouth, man. Donate to the damn channel or shut the hell up, man. Straight up. You over here, got my chat looking around, got people talking about they disabled and shit and need some money. Mud Butters, man, you gotta ante up now. You done too fucking much and you talking shit. You gotta come on out, Mud Butters, or you gotta shut the fuck up, man. Straight up.
Again, I addressed this in the last briefing. This was a feeling the president had based on facts provided to him.
So it was a feeling based on facts, okay? And that's why Trump started this war. Trump himself has given conflicting signals. He said that this war is going to end soon. He's also said that this war is going to continue. All right, so he changes every day.
News 20 minutes ago, but it's...
Now that is one thing that's troublesome. Trump does change every day. To this point, it's become normalized, and I don't know if that's good for it to be normalized. Like the back and forth, the market swings, making money on the way up, making money on the way down. BBC's doing a documentary. They're saying that somebody close to the administration is coming forward doing a tell-all about the insider trading. It's just crazy, man. It's a totally fabricated and manipulated market, and they're playing in our damn face. Totally fabricated and manipulated, bro.
Seems to be going very well in the Middle East with Iran. We'll know over a little period of time. We're negotiating over the weekend. And as you know, we have the blockade. The blockade's been very successful. And of equal success has been the...
You said there's nothing anyone can do about it. Yes, they can, man. They can bring their ass on this insider trading shit. Trump already said he's going to pardon them anyway, but shit, somebody's got to be held accountable for this insider trading shit, bro. Somebody has to be held accountable. Yeah, Trump said he's going to pardon them, but fuck it. Put that blemish on their image, man. Your ass caught. Your ass caught, man. Your ass owes some restitution, man. It is what it is. If it was somebody PPP scamming or some Somali fraud, they ass to be having to pay restitution. Trump already said he gonna pardon them. Shit, man. Hey.
5 weeks before the blockade, the combination was pretty lethal, I would say. So we're gonna be knowing very shortly.
So he's saying this war is going great. We should have a ceasefire soon, okay?
Yup, Mud Butters, I was waiting on you to say something else and your ass ain't donated to the channel. Your ass can sit in the corner too, Mud Butters. Sit your ass down and calm down, Mud Butters.
Okay, and then maybe...
Sit the fuck back, Mud Butters, and just chill. Watch the show. You doing too much talking and not enough Cash Apping and PayPal and talking shit, man. So sit your ass in the corner and think about what you did, Mud Butters.
An hour later, he's like, oh, I think I need to drop bombs on Iran. So there's a lot of conflicting signals coming from Trump. And what I want to show you today, what I want to argue to you today is that you have to ignore these signals and focus on the larger American strategy in this war. And once we understand the strategy, then it's very easy for us to understand how this war will progress over the next few years, okay? Because this war is not going to end soon. It won't be a few months, it'll probably be a few years, and quite honestly, it may...
All right, so he's saying that it won't be a few months, the war will last a few years, chat. Give me your timeline on when this war will end to an exact year, 5 years, 10 years, 1 year, 6 months. Don't say 10, just give a roundabout forever. Give me an exact timeline in your opinion, chat. We're 25 likes away from the next like goal, chat. Let's get to 200 likes right quick before we hit the 2-hour mark. Double tap the screen, go to the top, hit the 3 dots, make sure the button is liked.
Take 10 or 20 years. Okay, so let's look over some more news. So as I mentioned previously, oil refineries are getting sabotaged, either by accident or purposefully. What this tells us is that in the past 45 days, there have been at least 45 recorded incidents around the world of oil refineries being set on fire.
Stingray?
Okay, so Iran was bombed by the Israelis, and then the Israelis responded by attacking Qatar. Russia is being attacked by Ukraine, and the big one is that in Australia, in Geelong, one of the refineries was set on fire, and they claim it was an accident. This is important because Australia is not at war, but Australia needs a lot of oil. Okay, so right now Australia is in a lot of trouble. Romania, Bucharest has been hit. India has been hit. Myanmar has been hit. Okay, so all around the world, there are these fires going on, destroying the world's oil supply. So why is this?
And y'all remember a couple years ago, it was all of the chicken factories. It was all of the chickens was dropping dead. All of the cattle was dropping dead. And now we have all of the oil refineries getting blown to smithereens, man. All of these crises are completely controlled. Controlled demolitions, man. Controlled demolitions.
What's happening? And who's doing this? We don't know. And quite honestly, we may never know. But to figure out the answer, you always ask yourself, who benefits, right? And you always look at 3 things: means, motive, and opportunity. And so from this, you could figure out that the majority of these fires are being deliberately set in order to reduce the world's oil supply. And the people who can do this, the people who benefit from doing this, are the Russians or the Americans, okay? One of these two. It's probably both, but we don't know for sure yet. All right. This war, as we discussed previously, is already having a tremendous impact.
Chat, everyone double tap the screen, hit the like button. First, last. I need you to come in here and take your motherfucking shoes off. Speak to my chat and speak to me before you get to talking shit, man. Before we send your ass on without a goodie bag.
On the world's economy. So sulfur has risen in price by 57%. Sulfur is important for the manufacture of both fertilizers as well as for microchips. Okay? Jet fuel has gone by 52%. So next time you're flying to the United States, it's going to be a much more expensive ticket. Urea is important for fertilizer, diesel, gasoline.
You said give me one reason you think it lasts 5 years. I don't know, chat, exactly my timeline, but I can see it lasting 5 years if they want to make these countries buy American oil. America's kind of chilling right now, and if they want these other countries to buy oil, so there's not a rush. Another thing is that there's total destabilization in the region. There's no clear leadership. They're saying that there's been a coup right now. The foreign minister, the president, and the Ayatollah are all on house arrest by the RGC. So I don't know. There's not a clear, concise path to leadership to actually get the deal done.
Lean, fertilizer. So basically, food and energy, their prices have gone way up. Okay? Donald Trump makes a statement saying that the Iranian flag cargo ship Tosca has been boarded by the Americans.
Like, bro, people come in here saying anything. Like Lifeline is talking about, aren't you the sink pisser? Didn't you piss in your sink? No. What the fuck, bro? I'm from the South. I would literally piss on the front porch, bro. I would go outside and piss off my carport into the grass before I piss in the sink. Like, what kind of shit are y'all on? Like, is that some city shit, Chad? Like, I don't give a fuck if it's 20 degrees outside, 100 degrees outside. I'll whip this thing out, man, and use the bathroom. Who's pissing in the sink, bro? Where do they do that at? What?
Okay? And Donald Trump continues.
Thank you, Dwayne. Dwayne supports the channel via Super Chat, man. Thank you, Dwayne, for your continued support.
Continues to threaten the Iranians and say that if you continue to close off the Strait of Hormuz, then we will negotiate with bombs, basically. All right? No more Mr. Nice Guy. And quite honestly, what he's also saying is, we don't really care because we don't need that oil from the Middle East. Also, we can sell our oil to the world, okay? The United States loses nothing. In fact, many ships are headed right now to the US, Texas, Louisiana, Alaska to load up compliments of the IRGC. We just want to be the tough guy, all right? So we're the ones benefiting from this war. So we have nothing to worry about. All right, so another thing that I want you guys to pay attention to is how America is moving towards a war economy. All right, so.
Yes, speaking on the war economy, before he gets into it, Trump just enacted the War Powers Act, where we're going to focus on oil, what is it? Oil, LNG, and something else. Hold on, chat. Let me find it right here. Shit. I got so many damn. Okay, coal, LNG, oil, and grid infrastructures. So, Trump just asked for 1.5 trillion for the Pentagon. Also, he's saying we're moving to a wartime economy. He's asked Ford and General Motors to prepare some of their facilities to make weapons. He's also enacted the War Powers Act, coal, LNG, oil, and infrastructure. So yes, we are moving into a wartime economy. Shit's crazy.
The Pentagon has been in talks with General Motors and Ford to make munitions, drones, and military equipment. Right? So this is what this last happened in World War II when America moved to total war. Their factories that used to make cars were now making tanks. But not only that, but Trump also announced something called the Defense Production Act as of today. And what this does is it basically allows the government to subsidize private corporations in the manufacture of weapons. Okay? So these companies, General Motors, Ford, they can make a lot of money because of this war. That's something to keep in mind. Starting December, Americans who are aged 18 to 26 will be automatically registered for the draft. Okay, so it's very likely that America will soon introduce a national draft and force young men to go fight in the Middle East. Currently, the Pentagon budget is $1 trillion. Next year, it'll be $1.5 trillion, an increase of 50%. Okay? And we can expect that the year after, it might be $2 trillion. More veterans are now being asked to serve longer. Okay? So what we're seeing is that the United States is moving towards a wartime economy. Okay, they're preparing for what we call.
So chat, I know it's a touchy subject. I need everybody to hit the like button. But how many of you guys have children that will be 18 to 25, come December? I know I haven't asked this question before because it's kind of touchy, but how many of you guys have children that will be draft eligible, 18 to 25, coming this December?
Total war. When an economy moves towards the manufacture of weapons and munitions. All right, Another thing that's been happening that you should pay attention to is the fact that there's very little opposition. In fact, there's no opposition to Donald Trump fighting this war in Iran. You would think that the Democrats, his opponents, would use this opportunity to promote anti-war messages.
So I want to ask, a lot of y'all are saying that y'all do. Are y'all planning on having a conversation with the kids? Like, how are y'all going to handle that? Are y'all just going to, I mean, I know that's why I said it's a touchy subject, but how are y'all going to go about the, handling this situation?
Yes, or try to stop him from plunging America into another forever war in the Middle East. Instead, the Democrats are doing as much as possible not to do anything. So recently in Congress, they had a vote as to whether or not to restrict Trump's ability to fight this war, okay? And there were 4 Republicans who did not vote, and 1 Republican who voted, we should restrict Trump, okay? And so this vote should have been...
Dwayne said he already did. Dwayne, I do want to know how that went, man. Prayers to everybody, man, and I know those are going to be tough conversations, and we can be honest, this is the show, man. Some of our kids just ain't cut for that shit, man. Some of our kids, man, we know our kids just not cut for that shit. So those are the ones that I was mainly speaking to, like the parents who kind of know, like, hey, look, man, my child might not be cut out for that shit, man. That might be a more difficult conversation. Some of y'all have kids that are warriors, Some of y'all had kids that are warriors that, probably been wanting to do this.
214 to 213 in favor of yes, we will restrict Trump's war powers. But then what happened was that one Democrat, just one Democrat, decides, I want to switch my vote to no. So now it becomes 214 to 213. Okay, do you understand? Guys, this is all political theater. You understand?
What's up, Top
It's all
Cat?
theater, meaning that it was already prearranged between the Republicans and Democrats that this resolution would fail. In other words, it may be 2 Republicans voted yes.
Nah, it is some people that want to do this, Brett. I had a conversation with a guy today, not today, but last week, and he was saying, like, shit, if he could get help passing his ASVAB, he'll sign them now. He on some shit like, he don't even know why, if they need soldiers, he don't even know why he got to worry about the ASVAB. He was like, shit, I want to go infantry. And he looked me in my eyes, and I know this guy very well. He's not bullshitting. Like, he's down on his luck right now. He's looking for a way to go. He's not a felon. He just doesn't, he's scared of the ASVAB. He tried it before, it didn't work. And he's on some shit like, just give me, put me on the front line. That's his exact words. So some people do want this.
Yes, then 2 Democrats would have voted no. If 10 Republicans voted yes, then 10 Democrats would have voted no. You understand? The Democrats are not opposing this war. They're doing as much as possible to support this war. So the question then is, why is this happening? Why is America moving towards a wartime economy? Why are the Democrats so supportive of this war? And the answer has to do with empire, okay? So this is something called the National Defense Strategy that came out in January 2026. And this is the blueprint for how the Pentagon will fight wars for the next 5 to 10 years. This is a strategy behind the Iran war. All right, and so what we're going to do is we're going to read certain parts together to analyze how the Americans will strategize about the world moving forward. Okay, so Ivory, could you help me read, please? Thank you.
For too long.
Yeah, chat. He's about 34, 34, like I said, never been in any trouble. He's just down on his luck. And he's on some shit like, look, I'm at the point of my life to where I got a son now. I gotta set some shit up for him. Like, if I could go to the military, like I would. He's like, I've tried, twice, and the ASVAB held him back. So, I think he's serious. I think he's trying to be able to buy a home. I think he wants to have insurance for him and his kid. I don't think he understands the severity of the situation. I can say that. I do not think he understands the severity of the situation, but he's gung-ho, like he really wants to go.
Long the U.S. government neglected, even rejected, putting Americans and their concrete interests first. Previous administrations squandered our military advantages and the lives, goodwill, and resources of our people in grandiose nation-building projects and self-congratulatory pledges to uphold cloud castle abstractions like the rule-based international order. These past leaders neglected and often actively undermined.
Yeah, he's in shape. He does. He fights. He trains all the time. I seen him run 6 miles a few times a week. Like, he's in shape. He for sure in shape.
Our warfighters' warrior ethos and our military's core, irreplaceable role, fighting, winning, and thereby deterring the wars that really matter to our people. Consequently, President Trump entered office with the nation on the precipice of disastrous wars for which we were unprepared.
Okay, so certain things to keep in mind, okay? Concrete interests first means that we have to think about.
No, I'm being for real, Brett. When I'm saying, like, he'll tell you, like, this is a person that I'm close with. Like, he wouldn't even be mad of me saying that. Like, he was one of those. Like, he was in the same class all day. Like, when they was changing classes and shit, like, he didn't change classes until it was time to go to activities. Like, you know, home ec and athletics and PE and shit. When it was the core classes, like, he stayed in the same classroom all day. He's one of those.
Resources. We have to think about concrete advantages to America.
That's crazy. Professor just said, well, Jang just said that after I made that statement.
We can no longer think about ideals, okay? Second is the idea of rules-based international order, or the globalists. Before, America was fighting wars for their nations, or for Europe, or for Japan. We have to fight wars for America, okay? And the last thing is the idea of undermine our warriors' ethos, okay? Undermine our warrior ethos. What this means is that before.
Yeah, nah, he wasn't in behavior class. He wasn't in behavior class. He had a learning disability, you know. I told him about the ASVAB classes and stuff. Like, I wasn't trying to just push him into, you know, doing it, but I was like, you know, they got classes. They've kind of chilled out a little bit. They're not as strict. So he said he was going to go talk to a recruiter, and I just told him to make sure that he does his research. But I understand, like, you got a son, you got a kid, your kid's getting older. He's going to be kindergarten age here in a while. He's going to start asking questions. You want to secure your future. Because we were having this talk, and I was telling him, like, look, bro, I work 10 hours a day. I come and I get on live for 4 to 5 hours a day. I'm working 14, 15 hours a day. And I'm telling him I'm doing that because I don't want to be 40 still trying to fucking figure it out. I don't want to be 40 still not having shit to show for it. And he was like, damn, you right. And that's when he got to talking about the military.
Before, America was bounded by too many rules, okay? What they call rules of engagement. Okay? Or basically avoiding war crimes. You were not allowed to kill civilians. You needed permission from the United Nations to fight wars.
Why is this lagging? Hold on, chat. Let me pull this clip back up. I'm lagging too. Damn, am I still lagging? Hold on, chat. Let me re-pull the clip back up. I think my browser is tripping. Let me redo the clip. Hold on. Everybody hit the like button right quick. I don't know why I was lagging like that though.
Too many rules, okay? What they call rules of engagement. Okay? Or basically avoiding war crimes. You were not allowed to kill civilians.
All right, chat, in your opinion, since this Iran war has started, have there been any war crimes committed? Since this Iran conflict has started, have there been any war crimes committed in your opinion? In your opinion. Everyone hit the like button, chat. We're 25 likes away from the next like goal. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. We're 20 subscribers away from the next sub goal. Please subscribe to the channel.
Millions. You needed permission from the United Nations to fight wars. And what this is saying is like, screw that.
Oh shit, chat. We're 1 subscriber away from 46,900. Can we get 46,900 right quick, chat? What are we doing? 1 subscriber, the next subscriber gets a shout out.
Okay? Screw rules of engagement. We should just fight wars to win wars. That means we kill as many people as we need. That means we do whatever is necessary in order to win wars, okay? So this is what the first paragraph is saying here. It's a new vision of
shout out to Brett for subscribing.
American power.
And being
Before,
active in the chat.
It was about ideals. Now it's about interest. Before it was about globalism. Now it's about America first.
Shout out
Before
TBR.
It was about rules of engagement. Now it's about the warrior ethos, okay? Please continue reading, Ivory.
President Trump has decisively changed
Shout out
that.
Carlos. You said David Robinson was 6'8" when he was in the Navy. Yeah, he was 6'8".
Courageously putting Americans first to truly make America great once again. Under his leadership,
mods in the chat, direct people how to subscribe. If they don't know how to subscribe, please direct them to that.
the United States has the world's strongest, most lethal, and most capable military. Indeed, the most powerful military that this world has ever seen. No longer will the department be distracted by interventionism, endless wars, regime changes, and nation building. Instead, we will put our people's practical, concrete interests first. We will support a policy of actual peace through strength. We will be the sword and shield to deter war with the goal of peace, but ready to fight and win the nation's necessary wars if called upon. This
okay,
is
stop. Okay, wait. So the important sentence here is...
Yes, Lori, I think if you refuse to go in the draft, you do go to prison. I think that's why Muhammad Ali was stripped of all of his belts, and I think he went to jail as well.
We will support a policy of actual peace through strength. What this means is that we will be so mighty, we will be so invincible, we will be so fearless that we will instill fear in others. They'll be so afraid to fight us, and therefore we'll have peace, okay? So it's the idea of hegemony. Peace through might, peace through power. We have to demonstrate we are invincible. When people fear us, that's when people will obey us. When people obey us, that's when we'll have peace, okay?
What's up, John?
This does not mean isolationism. To the contrary, it means a focused and genuinely strategic approach to the threats our nation faces and how to best manage them. This approach is based on a flexible, practical realism that looks at the world in clear-eyed.
Yeah, he is a high school teacher in China somewhere. Excuse me, Jang, he has this channel, Predictive History, with over 2 million subscribers. I believe he went to Harvard and some other school. He started off in math, and I believe he switched to English as a major, but this is what he does, is game theory.
Way, which is essential for serving Americans' interests. As the national security strategy articulates, this is the common sense approach President Trump has advanced.
Okay, all right. So this does not mean isolationism. It's about how to best manage them. So the idea here is that America before was engaging too many wars overseas. It was too spread out. America will now be focused on maintaining and protecting its core strategic interests.
Yeah, he's not a professor. He is a high school teacher, though. He's teaching a high school class right now in Canada.
That means...
China.
Divide and conquer, okay? Divide and conquer, divide and rule. Okay, I'll explain this as we go on. All right, so these are the 4 strategic interests of the United States, okay? Can you read, Ivory?
We will defend the homeland and ensure that our interests in the Western Hemisphere are protected. We will deter China in the Indo-Pacific through strength, not confrontation. We will increase burden sharing with allies and partners around the world. And we will rebuild the U.S. defense industrial base as part of the president's once-in-a-century revival of American industry.
Okay, so this is it, okay? This is the plan moving forward. And already we're seeing the Americans are doing this.
What's up, Kate? I don't know David Robinson was 7'1". I thought David Robinson was like 6'8" or 6'9", maybe 6'10". I don't think he was a 7-footer. I don't think he was a 7-footer. But what's up, Kate? And Bandit. Yes, he was a high school teacher. Mehdi, when he did the interview with Mehdi exposed him as being a high school teacher and not a professor.
All right, so we build the U.S. defense industrial base. Okay, basically means factories.
Oh, he's in Canada? Okay, well, he says he might be teaching in Canada, but when Mehdi asked him where's he living, he said he's in China, like outside of China somewhere.
And resources, right? Making sure that America becomes the arsenal of democracy. Its factories produce all the weapons America needs in order to protect its interests as well as protect its allies. We will increase burden sharing with allies and partners around the world, okay? This basically means that from now on, we're not friends. From now on, we're the boss and you do what we tell you to do, okay? From now on, we will order Japan, South Korea, Europe, NATO to do what they must.
Here it go right here. It's not in Canada. I'm looking at his Wikipedia right now. Since 2022, he has worked as a philosophy teacher at Moonshot Academy High School in Beijing. He gained international attention with his viral YouTube channel, Predictive History, which we're watching right now. So he is a philosophy teacher at Moonshot Academy High School in Beijing. So he's a high school teacher in China, in Beijing.
Us in order to protect our power, and they must follow us. Basically, a criticism of.
Yes, he says he's gonna finish his contract. He told Mehdi Hassan he's still under contract. After he finishes this contract this school year, he's done teaching. He's gonna travel abroad and do interviews and be a YouTuber. So yes, he's currently still a teacher until his contract expires.
Vassalage. That's number 2. Number 3 is we would deter China in the Indo-Pacific through strength, not confrontation. We don't want to destroy China. We don't want to hurt China, but we need China to obey us. And the way to do that is by containing China, strangling China economically, and also promoting Japan, okay? So in the future, China and Japan will balance each other out. And that allows us to rule over them, right? In the future, we, America, will sell resources, weapons, and financing to both China and Japan as they compete against each other in East Asia. That's how we will contain China. And then the idea of...
Kelly comes through with a big donation to the to the channel. Thank you, Kelly, for supporting the channel via Super Chat. Great discussion and debate today. Much gratitude for your time and effort to make sense of this war, etc. Thank you, Kelly, for supporting the channel, and thank you, Kelly, for showing up and hanging out with us. Thank you, Kelly.
We'll defend the homeland and ensure that our interests in the Western Hemisphere are protected, okay? So basically, this means that the Western Hemisphere belongs to America. We'll do whatever we want in the Western Hemisphere. If you want to come to the Western Hemisphere, you need our permission. If you, China or Russia, you want to come into the Western Hemisphere, you have to get our permission. You have to pay a tax to us, okay? This is really, really important. Defend the homeland. Defend the homeland just basically means a police state. Before, America was too free, and therefore America was too weak. The example is the Vietnam War, when the war was...
And when he's speaking to that, we have to go to the policies that are being set in place. The AI ban, when Trump put the executive order saying states have no rights over AI. Those things. When Trump says that he's willing to give up some of his rights and privacy in order to support our great military, you have to listen to that. You have to listen to that, man. This is not just coming out of nowhere. When you have Congress and representatives echoing those statements, they're going to authoritarian. When you see that ICE is now about to get glasses that can identify anybody through biometrics and your walking gait. This is a total police state. You have flight cameras, you got regular surveillance cameras, you got goggles, ICE goggles. There's gonna be a total police state. You got dynamic pricing. Everybody's like, oh, well, if you don't do anything bad, then why do you have anything to worry about? It's deeper than that. It's deeper than that, chat. Listen here. You got dynamic pricing. What is dynamic pricing? It's when you go to the damn grocery store, supermarket, gas station, drive through window, and it's no longer a set price. The little shit's flashing, and depending on who's there about to pick up something is the price. So guess what? Your ass is out of state. You 15 miles. You out of that 15-minute city. Your prices increase. Your ass going to a funeral, your prices increase. Your ass trying to get a burger and it's midday rush, your prices increase. Your ass been looking up shit online you ain't supposed to been looking up, your prices increase. You an anti-Semitic, your prices increase. Anti-government, your prices increase. That's what we finna go through.
Not lost in Vietnam, the war was lost at home because you had too many people, too many young men protesting on the streets, too many rebels. If we want to win wars, if we want to project strength, if we want to create peace in the world, we need to make sure that our home front is secure. All right? And that means making sure that Americans follow the law, do what they're told. Okay? So I'll explain this more as we go along. All right, so now let's move on to China, okay? So can you read, Ivory?
Deter China in the Indo-Pacific through strength, not confrontation. President Trump seeks a stable peace, fair trade, and respectable relations with China, and he has shown that he's willing.
Yeah, this is not about what Professor Jang. See, we're listening to him, but we're breaking it down as well. We connect our own dots over here. And that's what I'm saying. When he's talking about authoritarian government, all of that is in play. How are they going to enforce authoritarian government? Through mass surveillance. That's why Anthropic was getting into it with the Pentagon about not allowing mass surveillance and not allowing autonomous weapons being controlled by AI. This is the police state. How are they going to enforce it? If you're going to have authoritarian government, you're going to have to enforce it.
Willing to engage President Xi Jinping directly to achieve those goals. But President Trump has also shown how important it is to negotiate from a position of strength, and he has tasked DOW accordingly. Consistent with the president's approach, DOW will therefore seek and open a wider range of military-to-military communications with the People's Liberation Army, with a focus on supporting strategic stability with Beijing, as well as deconfliction and de-escalation.
Correct, Darcy.
More generally. But we will also be clear-eyed and realistic about the speed, scale, and quality of China's historic military buildup. Our goal in doing so is not to dominate China, nor is it to strangle or humiliate them. Rather, our goal is simple: to prevent anyone, including China, from being able to dominate us or our allies. In essence, to set the military condition required to achieve the NSS goal of a balance of power in the Indo-Pacific that allows.
That's what I'm saying, chat. Like, we think this shit can't come to us. I'm finna skip through because I'm not trying to hear her read. But we got to look right across the border. We got Mexico. What is Claudia Sheinbaum doing? She just told all the Mexicans that by December of this year, they won't be able to buy gas or pay tolls with cash. They won't be able to have a cell phone number unless they register with the digital ID. All of their cell phones will be suspended until they register with the government. We're seeing it right across the border. This is the rollout. This is the rollout. This is the soft launch.
Singapore, Indonesia, right? And this creates a sort of Malacca. We will have these nations challenge Chinese supremacy in order to create balance, a power balance in East Asia. And once this power balance is created,
Chat, everyone hit the like button. Everyone hit the like button, chat. Double tap the screen, shut a live out, chat. I want to know, chat, would you live in a 15-minute city? Would you live in a 15-minute city? But yeah, we got to get the likes up. We're 25 likes away from the next like goal, chat. Let's get the likes up.
It all depends on us, United States, because we have energy, we have food, we have weapons, we have financing. Okay? So again, if you just read this, it's very, very clear what the United States wants to do, and they're already doing it. All right, so this is the conclusion, okay? Ivory, can you read, please?
Taking our nation from the precipice of a world war just a year ago, President Trump is now leading our nation into a new golden age among us and peace. But we at the Department of War will be ready if our gracious offer is spurned. We know that wishing...
Basically, it means that from now on, America will adopt a new strategy, okay? All right, so if this ceasefire does not work and war continues, then we can expect in round 2, the fighting will get much worse. Okay, so the Americans will start to target civilian infrastructure, including bridges, universities, reservoirs, power plants, desalination plants. Basically, it will destroy Iran's capacity to be a nation state. In response, the Iranians can destroy a lot more energy infrastructure, okay? So what it's done now, it's basically close off the Strait of Hormuz, but it can also close off the Red Sea, okay? And they can also target pipelines of natural gas. Basically, it can take offline 1/3 of the world's energy supply, and this would, of course, cause an economic depression, okay? Unfortunately, the national security strategy of the United States doesn't really care. If you just read the national security strategy, they already have factored this in and they don't really care. So the idea is to prioritize strategic interests. And what this basically means is that America has the world's greatest navy.
Yeah, this might be the last get-all, chat. This might be the last get-all, man. This might be where they rug pull, man. They know that we have AI and technology is getting to the point to where the free energy is around the corner. Like, we've already heard about Tesla and people cracking free energy and finding all of this alternative energy. And I think this is the last one, man. This is the last ride, man. They're trying to milk it for everything that they can because it might be the last time, honestly.
No one else comes close. And so all that they do is contain the world's choke points. And the world must bend to the will of America. Okay, does that make sense? If you're going to trade, then you must depend on American generosity. Okay, so already what's happening is that this area, it's being closed off. But America has made moves to close off other areas as well. So America is exerting more control over the Panama Canal, okay? Basically, the Western Hemisphere is under something called the Donroe Doctrine. The Donroe Doctrine basically states that America can do whatever it wants in the Western Hemisphere. If you want to come here and trade, you have to go through us. China depends on a lot of resources from the Western Hemisphere, especially from South America. All right? Over here, something called the Lithium Triangle. This is Venezuela. Brazil provides...
You said free energy from what? I'm pretty sure, well, right now, Elon's talking about putting satellites in space that will harness the energy from the sun and transmit it back to Earth. You also had a black guy that invented the plastiline, where he's turning plastic into actual usable fuel, an actual usable fuel source. He's put it in all kind of foreign German cars. He's put it in Hellcats. He hasn't patented the technology either. He says he didn't put a patent on it for very specific reasons. So there are a lot of shit. It's a lot of shit going on, man, when it comes to
China
the
with
energy.
a lot of agricultural products, soybeans, basically. And what Trump is saying is that, hey, in the future, you're going to trade over here, China, you have to go for us, okay? So he's basically embargoing the Western Hemisphere from China. Over here is something called the Strait of Malacca. This is the most important choke point in the world, especially for East Asia, because as you can see, the Middle East, if it is to access South Korea, China, and Japan, it has to go through the Strait of Malacca. But guess what, guys? Everything goes through the Strait of Malacca. And this is important because the United States has signed a deal with Indonesia. So what we can expect is that America and Indonesia, their militaries will start to cooperate more and more. This is and the reason why is America is moving towards creating the first island chain. Basically, militarizing the first island chain in order to deter China, to embargo China, basically. What we're also seeing is that Japan is now rapidly remilitarizing. They're signing more agreements with Australia and other nations, okay? They're building more weapons. This is all being encouraged by the United States as a deterrent to China. Again, this is really important. America does not want to destroy China. It does not want to humiliate China. It wants to control China. Because the Chinese economy is still very strong and powerful, and America wants to make sure that the Chinese are buying more US dollars. Okay? So it is entirely possible what's going to happen is that the Chinese will have no choice but to buy from America, okay? Especially energy. The entire Western Hemisphere belongs to America, and you want to trade with the Western Hemisphere, then you need to sign a trade deal with America. Okay? What America is also doing that's really important is that it's planning to take over Greenland. Okay? By taking over Greenland, you're blocking access. China and Russia cannot access the Western Hemisphere, okay, through the Arctic. You're also seizing control over the Arctic, okay? And there are lots of minerals and oil in the Arctic as well. Okay? The Strait of Gibraltar is also another strategic choke point, and America has signed a deal with Morocco to enhance more cooperation. Okay? So I can see what America is doing is when they mean strategic interest, prioritizing strategic interest, what they mean is exerting control over the world's choke points so that they can control global trade. Okay? They're not going to control the entire ocean because it's much too big, but if they control certain choke points like the Middle East, and the Strait of Malacca, that's probably enough. Okay? The point is to get China to submit. The point is to control China, not to destroy China. All right, this is important because if you want to become a major power in the world, you need to trade effectively. So Russia has something called the North-South corridor. As you can see, it runs through Iran, okay? Iran is very important for the Russian North-South corridor. And that's why the United States is attacking Iran. Okay? And that's why the United States is not going to ever stop attacking Iran. Because as long as Iran is at peace, Russia can trade with the world. But if Iran is being destroyed, there's too much war, this entire region is blocked off from both Russia and China. Okay? Russia has something called the Belt and Road Initiative. As you can see, okay, from a map, the center of the Belt and Road Initiative is, of course, Iran. All right? If China wants to access Africa, Europe, the Middle East, it has to go through Iran. Or it goes through the sea, the Strait of Malacca. But as I already said, the next step for America is to close off the Strait of Malacca as well to Chinese trade. Then where do you go? Well, then you go over to the Western Hemisphere, but that's American territory. Okay? Yes, you can trade with Russia. You can trade with Russia. You can do that. But it's not enough for your economy. Does that make sense? Right now, China gets about 20% of its oil from Russia. Maybe Russia can provide 30% or 40% at most. That's very optimistic. But where are you going to get the other 50%, 60%, okay? Your options are very limited. If Iran is at war, can't give you any oil, then you're forced to buy from the United States. Okay? If you're forced to buy from the United States can set the price. It can set terms. It can dictate terms to you. And what the United States will say, you have to buy in US dollars. Okay? And that saves their economy. Right? Does it make sense, guys? This is not a hard idea to understand. This is exactly what it says in the US National Security Strategy. Okay?
What's up, Steve?
So, in many ways, you can make the argument that what's happening around the world right now, it's all an American policy of containing China, where in these flags are US military bases. As you can see, China is completely surrounded by US military bases in Japan, in South Korea, in Taiwan, even in Indonesia and Malaysia. Philippines, China's completely surrounded, okay? And this is it, the Strait of Malacca. This is a major choke point. And as you can see, it's not that hard for America to cut off that choke point, right? You see how much trade goes through the Strait of Malacca? You can see how many US bases are here. And you can see a lot of this trade goes to the Middle East, but hey, guess what? The Middle East is at war right now, so no more oil, no more energy, no more LNG from the Middle East. So you might go to Angola, but this is very important. The Americans have recently announced a naval blockade in the Indian Ocean, okay? So that's cut off your route as well. So if you're China, yes, you could rely on Russia, but you see how little this is, okay? There's too little trade between Russia and China, and you could build it up, but it's going to take you 10, 20 years' time. And what do you do for the next 10 years, right? Your people need food to eat. You need energy to fuel your factories. And so for the next 10 years, you have no choice but to work with the United States.
Hey, chat, do y'all want to do a panel tonight? I wasn't going to do a panel, but if y'all want to get into Discord for a minute after this video is over, shit, we can have a little debate discussion.
That's what Trump means by negotiating from a position of strength. Because you can set terms. You can force China to accept whatever terms you want. And quite honestly, if you just look at this map, there's very little that China can do about it, okay? There's this war in the Middle East. There's also this war in Russia, which also absorbs a lot of...
Check. Be sure to hit the like button on your way in, man. Double tap that screen for me. Go to the top and hit the 3 dots, man. Double tap that screen, go to the top and hit the 3 dots.
Russian energy. So Russia doesn't have that much resources to spare to China anyway. But America does. The Western Hemisphere does. Okay, because the Western Hemisphere is at peace. So as long as the Western Hemisphere maintains a fortress, okay? Meaning no one can attack the Western Hemisphere, then the Western Hemisphere can continue to supply resources to the world at war. So this is what the war is about, guys, okay? It's about creating conflict in the world so the United States can maintain its empire. And the way it maintains its empire is by maintaining its control over global trade. Okay? And the idea is America in the future will provide the world with energy, resources, weapons, and financing. Meaning we will actually lend you the money to buy this stuff as well. And what do we call this stuff? US dollars, okay? And so this worked really well in the 1950s under something called the Marshall Plan, okay? The Marshall Plan. Same idea where America made products and it lent money to Europe to buy products from America. Same concept here where in the future, the world is at war, people are poor, but it's okay because America will lend you money to buy energy, resources, and weapons from America, okay? And American factories will go up. America will be great again. Make America great again. All right? Okay. But for this plan to fully work out, America needs three things, okay? The first thing that it needs to do is create a national draft. Does that make sense, guys? Because you need soldiers in order to maintain America's core interests, right? So whichever nation is defying you, you go attack.
Oh, no,
right?
Case.
The goal is for Russia and Europe to constantly fight each other. The goal is for China and Japan to constantly fight each other. You need Iran to constantly fight with the GCC and Israel, okay? So you have these three major conflicts around the world. But if there's any nation that's at peace, well, then you have to create conflicts, okay? Maybe in Africa. You also want to control the Western Hemisphere, so you need soldiers to go and conquer nations that defy you. Okay, so the first thing that you need is a national draft. All right. Second thing that you need is something called continuity.
All right, chat. Y'all know what time it is, man. I got a Philly right here, chat. I'm just gonna let y'all know this bad boy got chicken, steak, and bacon on it. I'm just gonna keep it real. I'm in my bag tonight, man. I was trying to hold off on it, but I got a little hungry, man. It is what it is, man.
Of agenda. What does this mean? It means like now that you have this plan in motion, you cannot have a change in government, okay? So let's just say they're implementing this plan, and they're doing that right now. In 2028, the Democrats win. Well, that would screw things up, okay? So Trump needs a third term, right? A Trump third term. Because only he...
So even with this, him speaking about the Trump third term, Kash Patel, yeah, we didn't cover that. We got to cover that. The Southern whatever, he arrested the KKK. I mean, not arrested, but brought charges against that law group for supporting the KKK, you know, funding them up to the tune of $3 million. But he also promised to make arrests for the 2020 election. So when he's saying they're trying for Trump third term, I don't know, man. I don't think Trump's going to get a third term, but it looks like Kash Patel's trying to get the ball rolling, saying that he's promising arrests will be made for the 2020 election.
Can implement this plan and make America great again. Okay. And the third thing that you need is an AI surveillance state. Basically, AI police state. Why? Because again, this plan can only work if the Americans don't rise up and revolt like they did in the Vietnam War, okay? If you have a national draft in place, if Trump's going for a third term, there's going to be a lot of Americans who are going to protest in the streets, who are going to rebel, right? You can't have that happen. They'll screw things up. Therefore, you need an AI surveillance state in order to help them see the light, right? So, ICE, guys, okay? ICE. People believe that ICE is being sent to the streets of America in order to catch illegal immigrants. The problem with this is that you don't need ICE. You just need cooperation from the state authorities, okay? What ICE is really doing is basically creating conditions for a police state. It's normalizing or making common the idea of armed soldiers patrolling the streets of America in all the major cities. All right? And the reason why we think this, or we can suspect this, is look at their budget, man. Look at this budget. Before, the budget was kind of stable. Then, boom, it goes up to $90 billion. That's a lot of money, okay? That's almost like a new national police force that is only obedient to Donald Trump. It's basically Donald Trump's private police force in order to implement his vision, okay? Also, data centers, guys. Data centers. Now, I know that some of you are big fans of artificial intelligence, but artificial intelligence doesn't really make any money, right? ChatGPT, you can't make money off that. You can't make money off digital girlfriends or digital pets, right? So why is America building all these data centers around the world? In fact, the federal government under Trump has a plan called Operation Stargate, where they will build $500 billion, okay? They will invest $500 billion in building data centers around the United States. Well, you would want to build data centers if you want to create a AI surveillance state, right? Where everyone has digital ID, digital currency, and where everyone can be monitored to avoid people from rebelling against Trump. Okay? And that is the idea. Okay? And you listen to this and you think, oh my God, America is doomed. Or Donald Trump's going to become king for the rest of his life. There's nothing we can do. Well, the problem is this. The problem is that this idea of imperial conquest is actually not a new idea, guys, okay? It really isn't. Empires have been doing this for a long, long time. It has not worked out well, okay? So the goal, again, to summarize, is to create a situation where you have Greater North America.
All right, live poll chat. Do you think Trump is going to try for a third term? Yes or no in the chat. Third term or no third term in the chat. We're 20 subscribers away from the next sub goal, chat. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of our live streams. We're also 25 likes away from the next like goal.
What they call the technate. Okay? And this becomes a fortress. You have infinite resources, infinite manpower, and you can sell weapons, resources, and financing to the rest of the world. And you want to create as much conflict in the world as possible, right? So here it'll be between China and Japan. Here it'll be between Iran, Israel, and the GCC, okay? Here it'll be between Europe and Russia. Basically, you want a world forever at war so that you can control the world. And all America has to do is control key choke points, okay? Key strategic choke points, like the Strait of Malacca, Hormuz, Gibraltar, Panama. Why? Because once you control the choke point, you can control which nations get what resources. If a nation is becoming too strong, you give them less resources. If a nation is too weak, you give them more resources. And as a result, you can always maintain the balance.
Okay, there goes TBR. Thank you, TBR. TBR just gifted 10 memberships. Thank you, TBR, for supporting the channel. All the new members, you just got access to 300 past live streams, cool emojis, and you get entered into the book club. Join the Discord and ask for your book club role. The book club will be starting at the 1st of the month. Thank you again. Thank you again, TBR.
To power in each region. Right? So it sounds like a great plan, but it's not going to work out. Why? Well, because of something called nationalism. Okay? Because when you do this, when you are an empire and you impose your will on other nations, these nations are not happy about it. Right? So imagine Japan, South Korea, Europe. There, people know that they're being used, right? So eventually they'll be like, screw this. We want to be independent.
I'm not gonna lie, chat. After Trump, like I'm kind of done with the just put them in there and see what they'll do. I'm done with that, bro. Like we need to get back to the fucking politicians. I'm sorry, politicians got us fucked up too, but we need to get back. We need to at least pick somebody who's gonna stand on what they say and is a politician, bro. Like this shit just putting people up, man, like podcasters and shit, man, throwing them in places and nah, bro, that shit's done, bro.
Independent. We want peace. So they will eventually rise up against the empire. And the way they will do this is...
Thank you as well, Fries. Thank you as Fries. Fries did get a copy of the book, chat. Also, if you are a member, you get a free copy of my book as well in the Discord. Now, you get access to the book club and you get a free copy of my book. But we won't be reading my book in the book club. We'll be reading something educational. My book is educational, but something different education.
They will work together to destroy America, or basically to remove America from the world. You can't actually attack America. Now, what America can do is say, screw you, we're the entire Western Hemisphere, we have infinite resources, we can make infinite weapons, and you can never attack us, so we'll come and attack you. Okay? They could do that. The problem then is you have division and corruption. Okay? So an empire in decline always suffers from corruption and division. Corruption just means that, yes, you've allocated $1.5 trillion to making weapons. But guess what? The vast majority of that will be...
So I see y'all talking about somebody wrote for Trump. I seen Tucker Carlson did an interview and he sat down with the guy who was writing Trump's speeches. I thought Trump freestyled all of his speeches, but apparently Tucker Carlson sat down with the guy who was writing Trump's speeches.
Stolen by people, right? America right now is in a lot of trouble because it's a very corrupt place. Division means that the Democrats and Republicans fight all the time, what we call political polarization. So it is possible that as America is being asked to fight more wars overseas, you have civil war in America. The other thing is, when America takes over the entire North America, including Canada, Greenland, Mexico, Cuba, Colombia, Venezuela, Nicaragua, Honduras, they won't be happy about it, okay? So you're gonna have insurgencies.
So it sounds crazy to think about civil war in America because we think about civil war in the traditional term because our country, the last time we could think about the Civil War, was over slavery. But modern civil war is going on throughout the world. We seen Nepal, Gen Z overthrew their government. We seen Mexico going through a civil war. We seen civil war, where else was civil war? It was a few places, but for sure Nepal, Gen Z overthrew their government. They held elections via Discord. They elected their new leader via Discord, and Mexico's in a civil war right now as well.
All right? And this three problems, nationalism, corruption, and division, means that when America actually tries to implement this plan, it's gonna backfire.
And y'all remember, Nepal was something to look at because Nepal's civil war was crazy. Like they were beating the finance minister in the river. Like they had him in the river stripped, beating him, walking through the river. The prime minister's wife ended up getting burnt up in the house. Like they burnt down all of the houses, the government buildings. The prime minister's wife ended up getting unalived. They were dragging all the leadership out of buildings. Like it got bad in Nepal. Like they weren't bullshitting, bro. Like I think they rioted for like 48 hours straight over there. It went crazy.
It's going to accelerate the collapse of the American empire. All right?
Yeah, Nepal. They took all of the police, they took all the weapons from the police and they surrendered the weapons to the military. So they had overthrown the government. The prime minister had got helicopter evacuated out of there. A lot of the leadership, the other leadership that couldn't get evacuated was getting beat in the street or burnt up in buildings and shit. The Gen Z, the people who did the revolution, they took all of the weapons from the police department, the local police department, and they were just on one. And they surrendered all the weapons when the military came in. And then they held special elections via Discord and elected a female prime minister, the first ever female prime minister. This happened last year.
And then you ask yourself,
last year, Alfred.
Okay, if historically we know that empires will collapse, why do they do this? And the answer is because it benefits them in the short term. Okay, this is a short-term solution that creates long-term problems, but who cares about the long term? Let's just enjoy the short term, okay? All right, does that make sense? Okay, any questions?
America, you previously said that America will lose the war, but according to the analysis that you just did, like...
No, H. Buster, it wasn't Tibet. I know what I talking about, man. I covered this shit over here, man. I was talking to people that was familiar with the situation. I was bringing on guests. It says September 2025, Nepal's Gen Z led a nationwide uprising against corruption and social media restrictions. That's what it was. They were already planning an uprising, and then Nepal's government banned all of the social media apps. They blocked they gave the social media apps 7 days to register with the government, and if they didn't register, they were removed from the app store. And that was around the same time that the actual uprising was clicking, and it just boiled over. But yeah, it said toppling the government and reshaping the country's political landscape. 2025 Gen Z protests in Nepal were triggered by a government's ban on 26 social media platforms, including Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp, on September 4th, 2025, which was widely perceived as an attempt to suppress dissent. The movement was fueled by widespread frustration over corruption, nepotism, economic inequality, particularly targeting the lavish lifestyles of politician children known as Nepo kids. Youth unemployment exceeded 20%. Remittances accounted for 1/3 of Nepal's GDP, leaving many young people with limited opportunities. The protests were largely decentralized and coordinated through digital platforms such as Discord, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. Youth organizations like Jaime Nepal facilitated online discussions, polls, tactical planning, including debates over nonviolent versus confrontational strategy. QR-coded flyers, VPNs were used to bypass the social media ban, enabling rapid mobilization across Kathmandu and other cities. September 8th, thousands of students and young professionals gathered at Mitagar Mandela in Kathmandu, marching towards the federal parliament and government offices. We watched the videos of them beating those people in the street and getting helicoptered out. Initial peaceful demonstrations escalated after protesters breached police barricades, prompted security forces to deploy water cannons, tear gas, and eventually live ammunition. September 9th, I told y'all, they rioted for 48 hours. Violence intensified with government buildings, police stations, and residences of politicians set on fire. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli resigned under mounting pressure. They helicoptered his ass up out of there. And the army imposed curfews to restore order. I told y'all that they gave the weapons that they took from the police back to the army. They surrendered it when the army came in. Casualties, at least 74 to 76 people were unalived, including protesters, police officers, and inmates, with 2,100 injured. Political outcomes. Following the uprising, Sushila Karki, former Chief of Justice of Nepal, was appointed interim prime minister on September 12, 2025, through a process coordinated with Gen Z representatives and the army. That process was a Discord election. They held elections on Discord. Telling y'all, man, I covered that shit.
America will try to control nations around China and those nations, but it will finally backfire, so the result of that predictions will still be America will lose, right?
So again, the major prediction is that America may in the short term seem as though it is winning, but in the long term, because of corruption, division, and nationalism, America will be forced to retreat back to the Western Hemisphere, and it will lose its empire. All right?
Kurt, why do you keep coming in here spreading lies? You've been coming in my chat, then you left, then you came back, and you just coming in here spreading lies. What's up with you, Kurt? What's to you, bro?
And yes, America will lose the war in Iran. Okay, be forced to retreat from Iran, but it doesn't really have to win the war. It doesn't have to defeat Iran. It just has to make Iran constantly in a state of chaos and war. Okay, does that make sense? Because the point is to control the choke points. Okay, the key are the choke points. These are the keys. This is what America must protect. And what happens in Europe, Russia, China, Japan, Iran doesn't really matter. But what America wants to do is create as much chaos as possible in these places so that they depend on America for resources, for financing, for weapons. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, America doesn't really care anymore if it loses its war in Iran. That's not the point. The point is to maintain control over these strategic choke points, so the world depends on American resources to survive. Okay. Yeah.
Does China or any other countries discerns that America is trying to control the trade route of China?
Oh, look. Okay. What America is doing is obvious. All right. It's silly. It's really obvious to people, right? There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it because America has a blue water navy that controls the oceans. So the question then is, what happens in the long term? Well, in the long term, what's going to happen is that Russia will challenge America in these choke points, okay? And this is already happening in Cuba, okay? Cuba is here. And we'll discuss this next class, but Cuba is under embargo right now, and Cuba is trying to become closer with Russia, okay? So what Russia is going to do is set up basically its own navy to challenge the American Navy. And Russia cannot win against the American Navy, but what it can do is fight a war of attrition against the American Navy, raising costs, okay? That's number one. Number two is that if America can go and blow up energy supplies around the world to make the world more dependent on America, well, Russia can also blow up energy supplies to make the world dependent on Russia, okay? So what's gonna happen is that Russia and America are gonna compete against each other, all right? And most of the world is ultimately gonna side with Russia in order to balance the United States, because the United States is too much of a bully. And at this point, in the short term, China has no choice but to work with both Russia and America, because China's not strong enough to challenge either. Does it make sense? Okay. Yeah, Alan?
So my question is about how Trump gonna like deal with the internal conflict in American. Like right now he only had like 37% of supporting rate, and Democrats didn't agree with his plan. So how he gonna do about this? And what is if Democrat Party didn't agree with Trump's plan? What is the plan of Democrat to American?
Okay, yeah. So first of all, the Democrats have no plan. Okay, this is why America is in so much trouble.
See, this is the thing too. I see what you're saying, Mr. Darcy. Internally, China is in economic decline. There's a huge problem with supporting their country. I'm not gonna say that's completely false. But in comparison to America right now, one thing that China has went through that we haven't is their commercial real estate bubble. When Evergrande collapsed a few years ago, China ripped the Band-Aid off. Remember, that was the same time that the ruble was crashing. Russia was fucked up. The ruble was crashing. So Russia already kind of ripped the Band-Aid off. What we're about to go through and what we're going through now with that commercial real estate bubble and our currency, losing value, Russia and China have already went through it over in the last 5 years. They've already went through it. So I'm not saying that you're wrong, but we got some of our own problems to deal with that they've kind of already experienced.
Because the Democrats have absolutely no plan of themselves, okay? So even if the Democrats were to win office in 2028, what they'll probably do is continue Trump's plan, because they themselves don't have any plan. Trump's plan to stay in power is just basically he'll cheat, okay? He'll rig the elections, he'll cheat. Okay, that's his plan moving forward. And he'll probably get away with it. Okay. Any more questions, guys?
All right, Chad, this is over. I'm gonna let y'all pick what we're gonna watch next. Candace did an episode. I believe she was talking about Laura Loomer and some more Charlie Kirk stuff. Who else did an episode? Trump signed an executive order about the psychedelics, and then we got Bob Lazar came back with the full interview. Bob Lazar hasn't done an interview. He's the guy that was talking about Element 115 and the UAPs and UFOs back when everybody called him crazy. So he came back with a full interview. So what y'all want to watch, man? Treecraft says Candace. I really don't want to watch Candace right now. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all want to watch Candace? All right. Yeah, I really want to watch that Bob Lazar shit, but I did say y'all could pick. All right, chat. We're going to watch Candace or Bob Lazar, man. Vote in the chat right now. Candace or Bob Lazar, man. Candace or Bob, man. Candace or Bob, man. Live poll right now. All right, man. We're going to go with that Bob shit, man. All right, let's see what Bob Lazar talking about. I ain't heard from him in a while either. I really wanted to check this out. Kind of glad y'all picked this. But if y'all would have chose Candace, I was going to rock with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing more powerful than the chat. You know what I'm saying? Nothing more powerful than the chat, man. I'm not bigger than this shit.
Well, there's several, actually 9 flying saucers, flying discs that are out there of extraterrestrial origin.
People, you know.
So I think he disclosed on this episode that America is in possession of a UAP that is so big, no Diddy, no Epstein. Why am I lagging, bro? I hate when they lag me. But America's in control of a UAP that's so big they couldn't move it. So they built a military base around it. And I believe he disclosed that in this episode.
Always said, well, how did you feel? How did you feel when you first looked at the craft? It's not excitement. It's an ominous feeling. It's just we're so used to something else. It's like, you know.
Every time he says an ominous feeling, chat, all of this shit, bro, when I'm listening to these Congress people talking about interdimensional beings and aliens and under the ground and shit, it takes me back to that 2012 seminar with the guy who rolled out the quantum computer. When D-Wave dropped their first version of the quantum computer, chat, we watched that over here a few times. But I remember when that interview first dropped on YouTube all those years ago, it was like, I forgot what year it was, but like 2012, 2011, somewhere off in there. I think 2012. But D-Wave dropped that quantum computer, and that guy was doing the damn seminar like a TED Talk, and he said it sounded like an altar to an alien god. And that always stuck with me. I'm like, why would he describe it as an altar to an alien god? And now all of this shit is starting to come full circle in 2026. That shit is so crazy to me, bro.
You know, people say, well, that must have been so cool. No, it was not cool at all. It's like I actually wanted to go back out. It's a really creepy feeling in there. Galileo was the project I was involved in that dealt with the power and propulsion system of the craft. This is where they talked about reverse engineering extraterrestrial equipment.
You said, did I buy any of whose stocks? What, D-Wave? No, man, I don't want to, man, chat, I don't want to buy into this new society, man. I'm not trying to support that shit, man. D-Wave is quantum computing, and they are probably an industry leader at this point. Everybody else is focusing on AI. D-Wave focusing on quantum computing. Yeah, I didn't buy any D-Wave.
This is when I really realized, okay, we are reverse engineering something that some other entities made. You know, this is where it became real for me. And if they have a machine that is producing its own gravitational field, they really want to know how to make more of those.
Do you ever wish you could forget what you saw?
Oh, no, not at all.
You said, has anyone been to Area 51? Yeah, a lot of people have been to Area 51, but you got to have that clearance. They say you get close to Area 51, I don't even think they give you a warning. I think once you get out there, your ass going to get shot down. Yeah, it's gonna get shot. I don't even think they give a warning out there, Area 51. They might just smoke you, bro.
No. No, I wanna see it again. I wanna know more about everything there.
If you could ask somebody who worked at S4 right now, right? If you could talk to them right now, what's something you'd ask?
You said, has anyone ever tried injecting element 115? No, bro, I haven't injected anything. What the hell are you talking about? You shouldn't be injecting anything. I don't know what kind of freaky deaky or drugged out shit you're on, but you shouldn't be injecting anything. I'm just being honest, bro.
What did you find out? Where did we go from there? I mean, tell me anything.
Yeah.
Tell me, how was the power generated? How did the components communicate to each other? What range did they work at? Just tell me anything. Fill in any blank at all. It's like having a crossword puzzle with nothing in it. Just please put a letter anywhere and I'd be happy. He rotates the emitter further than he did before, and a little black dot, a little ball forms there.
You said you tried to get Subway. What the hell is you talking about with Subway, TBR? Kind of makes me sad that I didn't just go and tried to get Subway. You didn't go where? Subway do have that meal of the day, chat. I'm not gonna lie. When it's the right sandwich in there, I might fall off in Subway, man, and get that meal of the day.
And as I walked out under the craft, I couldn't see the craft. As I got closer to it, the craft just turned into sky. What I was seeing was the light bending around the craft. Imagine if you could control that, right? You could do, what you could do.
Hey, Chad, he kind of looked like
he
kind of looked like Mr. Rogers, don't he, Chad? Don't he kind of look like Mr. Rogers? Let me pull up a picture of Mr. Rogers, bro. Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, man. This guy Kebab looks like Mr. Rogers, bro. Let me see this man, bro. Yeah, he's a Mr. Rogers type, man. Hair's a little different, though.
One small item from the hangar with you, what would it be?
From the hangar.
Or from the lab.
Hey, look at Polo Sport coming in here talking about, man, you ain't no plug. I am the plug, man. I'm just a different type of plug. What's up, Ivan? Listen, man, Polo Sport, man. I'm just gonna tell you to stay in your lane. How about that, man? Didn't nobody come in here saying you not no polo, you not no sport. You know, nobody in here came to say, I'm just gonna ask you to stay in your lane, Polo Sport.
That's kind of a trick question there. Boy, I just don't want to get into that.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Yep.
I mean, actually, to answer the question, I may have already done that.
Do you like the sound of your own voice?
Then you talking about Polo Sport, you lying. That's USPA. That's the USPA, man. Ain't no polo, there ain't no Polo Sport. That shit was USPA.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Yeah, I don't really like it, but I have to deal with it.
Yeah, no one does. Well, especially after doing this documentary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever get sick of watching yourself on video? And
I can't tolerate myself on video. It's just like listening to your voice. It's anytime I look at myself, I'm disappointed. I mean, I never meet my own specifications. If I look at a sketch I made, I mean, oh my God, how embarrassing. So
yeah,
I don't know. I don't live up to my own specs.
I think everybody's their own worst critic. I've had to overcome that in the decade-long, incessantly filming and hearing myself and then editing myself on top of that. It's enough to make you never want to do it again. But I gotta climb that hurdle every single time.
Yeah.
So we're in this together. All right, Bob Lazar. Welcome to the skiff.
Yeah, thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, good to have you here. Thanks for doing this. I really appreciate it. I know
What's up, Lala?
These interviews, I know that you rarely do them. And and not because you're being evasive, but because you feel like you've told your story.
Yeah, I really have. I thought initially I did one story and then I made a videotape and thought that would be it. And if anybody wanted to know the story,
Thanks,
they could
Roger.
just play the tape.
Yeah.
But, people had other questions, other things happen. And so I do it. I don't really like doing any public appearances but once in a while I stick my head up.
See, this what I'm trying to say, man. He came in there, Roderick. It don't even bother me because it's documented. You know, my story is documented. I came a long way. I walk the straight and narrow now. I don't look behind me, you know, when I see the police and shit. I'm not nervous anymore. Can vote again. Got my gun rights back. So him coming in here saying I'm not the plug, it doesn't bother me. But we all plugs here, because we conversation starters. We take what we research and listen to and react to over here, and we take it in our everyday lives and start the conversations. We all plugs in here. That's the difference. He just not a plug. He's not a plug. He ain't part of this shit. He can't get in. How you hating from outside the club? You know what I'm saying? How you balling from the bleachers, my boy?
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, and I'm sure everybody watching, or most people watching, appreciate it. Yeah, this undertaking of doing this project with Luigi, this Project Gravitar or S4, the Bob Lazar story. I mean, this has been something you've been doing for almost 3 years.
Yeah, it was after doing Jeremy Corbell's film, I really thought that would be the end. And I had really no interest in doing anything further at that point.
Yeah.
And, was contacted by Luigi. I think I kind of,
Hey, Mossberg, I'm gonna let you keep that comment up because it was fucking funny, bro. But you got one more time. That's your only free joke, Mossberg. I'm letting that one slide. That's your only free shit. I see Polo Sport over there mad. He's foaming at the fucking mouth that nobody's paying him any more attention. Nobody came to see you, Otis, but Mossberg. Pipe down in this bitch. That first joke was cool, man. Don't do too much, man. Keep that shit cool.
Skip taking his phone calls here and there for a little while, but eventually we hooked up and he said, look, it was so motivated, and said, just let's show exactly what you saw. And, eventually I relented and said, okay, let's go for it. I'll tell you exactly the way everything was. If you want to do graphics, I'll correct everything to exactly what I saw. And
all right, man. Listen, man. Look, y'all. I gotta keep putting in my kids in time out. See, my kids want to come in here acting out and shit, man. Polo, go put your face in the damn corner, man. We just put Polo Sport in the corner for 5 minutes, you know. Nobody look at him. Don't pay him any attention, because if he turns his head out of that corner, he's going home for the day. We're gonna call his mom and just send him home for the day and just deal with it tomorrow. So none of y'all look at Polo. He's in timeout. His face is in the corner.
And I mean, to my surprise, he really, really did it. The graphics I've seen on the CGI looks like it was literally downloaded from my brain.
Yeah.
It's impressive. I can't tell it from reality. It's exactly like so. I'm anxious to see the upcoming film, because it's from the little clips I've seen. It's it's what I saw.
That's an incredible statement, and a great testimony, to the project. I myself have had the opportunity to see select clips and even, try the VR version.
Oh, that's really cool.
And and I mean, the one thing that struck me putting this on for the first time, and for someone who's been following your story, your journey, and really trying to like dig into this and try to make connections and, figure out, what's going on with this project.
I heard about Blue Bean Ron.
Putting this mask on and being in that place, to me, I thought I was excited at first, and then an overwhelming sense of dread.
See, that's That's amazing because that's exactly how I felt. And for him to be able to present that on film, it's surprising to me that that can be conveyed that way. Because when I walked in there, people, always said, "Well, how did you feel? How did you feel how did you feel when you first looked at the craft?" And it's not excitement, it's an ominous feeling.
Yeah.
And when I showed it to my friend, or Luigi showed it to my
So yeah, Chad, if I seen something like that, my first initial reaction would be, oh, it's some shit going on. It's some shit going on, Chad. I'm telling y'all, Chad, back in like 2008, but like 2000, I say 2009, 2010, it was probably 2010. Like 2010, Chad, I seen a little UFO, bro. That motherfucker came through, and I was telling everybody about it. My brother and my girlfriend at the time was in the car. They saw it too. I was telling everybody about it, and they thought I was lying, man. But now it's coming out, Chad. We're about to get disclosure. So I'm gonna tell you like this. If I actually was up close I was in the car at the time, driving downtown in my city. But if I was actually up close and got to see one, my initial thought would be, oh, it's some shit going on. It's some shit going on for real.
my friend Gene Huff, who I had confided in at that time.
Yeah, I know that's Ivan. I said, what's up to Ivan?
He said, "Wow, it's really creepy. It's almost an ominous feeling." I said, "That's exactly it. How?"
That's what I thought too, Mr. Darcy. I thought it was the government. That's initially what I thought. I thought it was the government because at this time, people didn't even know, like the little commercial drones and shit wasn't even out. And the size of it, chat, it was probably like at least 5 to 6 feet. It was like, it wasn't really small. It was probably like 5, 6 feet around, about at least big as me. And the way it was moving, yeah, I didn't think like, everybody in the car saw it. I was like, did y'all see that shit? That was like, hell yeah. My brother was like, hell yeah, what the fuck was that? And I never thought it was like an alien, so to say. I just thought some shit was going on. I'm like, oh shit, there's some shit going on.
Do you get that feeling through that? So to me, that's what told me Luigi hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Because I can't describe it, but you experienced it too.
Yeah, and I think I'm excited for people to.
Nah, I didn't automatically think it was an alien. Like the way it was, Chad, it wasn't like up in the sky. It was like close, nigga. Like it was, okay, say you at a red light, Chad. Say you at a red light. You know how high the traffic signals are? It was barely above that. It was like building level, like a single story, like downtown building, like it was building height. Like the shit's not 25 feet in the air. It's not way up high or no shit like that.
Experience that, if that's even something to get excited about, people feeling terrified.
Yeah.
But it is this it's almost so strange because you understand the, pardon the pun, but the gravity of this situation, right? When you're seeing human technology so primitive compared to this, pristine, beautiful, perfect vessel that's just sitting there with wires coming out of it, of extension cords, and there's just that dichotomy of our tech versus theirs, and the fact that this is like hidden in a hillside somewhere,
right?
And that you're there and you get to witness it is really impressive. But I mean, the dark pewter color of this craft doesn't help. I mean, it also,
No, nothing. I mean, it has no human marks on it. Nothing is superfluous. There's nothing extra on the craft. Not a line, not a bump. There's nothing stylized. Everything there has a specific function.
Yeah.
And there's really nothing that we make like that. And also, everything has different shapes in our world. Everything has sharp corners or round corners, but everything in the craft didn't. It was all the same material, all the same sheen, all the same radius of curvature on everything. It's really a weird environment. And even the way light plays itself inside there. I was talking to Luigi about this, when he was trying to get the craft to work, because he has it working in a actual physical environment. And we can put in spotlights. And in the one time I was inside the craft, they had the little tripod halogen lights set up inside. So there were some other guys working, and we came in to see the placement of the reactor. And the lights were on full brightness, and they didn't light up the inside. They lit up where they were shining, but it doesn't refract anywhere. It really, it doesn't. You can have a light shining straight at a wall here and coming back trying to work here, and you're working in the dark, and it's just a really weird environment. But the fact is, that happened in Luigi's simulation, which again really impressed me, because I said, apparently you really got it,
Yeah.
because it's not the material. Apparently it's the angles.
Yeah. And I
You
mean,
know.
not only that, it just, for a lot of people out there, I think it validates what you're saying at the same time.
Oh yeah, Lala, this a chicken, steak, and bacon Philly, man. In my bag with it. Chicken, steak, and bacon on the Philly, chat. No cap.
Because, to say something like that prior to making it, it almost doesn't make sense.
Oh, right.
Right? So when you say, oh, we put the lights in the craft, these halogen lights, but it didn't get brighter, it stayed dark, you think, well, I mean, just turn the brightness up on the lights,
yeah,
right?
that's nonsense. Yeah, but Luigi, I think he said he turned it up to 600% and it still didn't get brighter. And I said, that's exactly it.
Yeah,
That's exactly
how
how it was.
strange.
Yeah.
And that's partially because I guess, the non-reflective sort of matte metal almost that was absorbent, I guess, light absorbent.
Yeah, but it wasn't that absorbent. It's, it wasn't, what do they call it, Vanta Black or anything like that to suck light in. No, I mean, it was a pewter color. It should, but that's how it worked.
Just
inside.
non-reflective, really.
Yeah. I mean, the whole craft is just kind of an enigma.
So let's go back into this project. I want to talk a little bit about meeting Edward Teller initially, and what that was like for you as a young man. I mean, and with the documentary, there's even proof now that Edward Teller was at Los Alamos University giving a lecture on the day that you said he was there. And there's proof of that. There's footage of that.
Yeah, I'll tell you what happened. I mean, I was working at Los Alamos. It was a slow day. And in the Los Alamos paper, that day just happened to be the day I was on the front page of the paper. I mean, I drove my little Honda car to work every day that I had put a jet engine in. And sometimes I just drove with it.
Now, chat. What do y'all think the top speed of that Honda was with a jet engine in it, man? What do y'all think that little Honda topped out at, man, with a jet engine in that bad boy, man?
Jet to Los Alamos, and that security would flip out about that. But it became noticed, and the newspaper did, well, we'll do a front page thing on this guy. On that day, Edward Teller was giving a lecture at the lab. In fact, if you flip over the front page, right on there, it'll say Ed Teller giving a lecture at the lab about, nuclear weapons. I don't remember specifically the topic about nuclear weapons, but that's what it was. And it was kind of slow day at the lab, and I wanted to go see the lecture. So I left early to go there. When I got there, Ed Teller was sitting outside on the block wall by the place he was going to speak at. And I walked out, and he was reading the paper. So I walked out, and said, apparently waiting for someone or waiting to let them in. But I walked up and introduced myself, and I said, hey, I'm Bob, the guy on the front. And anyway, we got to talking, and, it was really cool because he's a guy out of history.
Oh my God, yeah.
Big time. So that was really neat. And, went into watch his presentation, so on and so forth. Time goes on. I eventually leave the lab, start a business on my own, and start contracting with the lab instead of working for him. And then, move to Las Vegas and have been out of the scientific community for a while and just kind of started missing it and said, I got to do something else. So I started sending resumes out and sent one to him. And, you know, getting a few back here and there, and finally get a response from him saying, you know, I think there's some people that might be interested in you. And he gave me a contact.
Sir Bob, why you spamming that you graduated from Panama, California College? Why you spamming that? Yeah, I'm all in the Circle K, Michael. I'm in the Circle K, like, you know what I'm saying, looking around, trying to see what's going on. Probably getting a Black and Mild, a little gas, and a Polar Pop.
At EG&G Special Projects. So I went down there. They were, at that time, they were based at McCarran Airport in Las Vegas. Big building, and I have no idea what EG&G Special Projects did. But,
we still don't.
Yeah. Apparently there were special projects.
Yeah.
But went in there and, you know, had an interview, did really well, and kind of went home and it didn't hear anything. I thought, oh, I guess that didn't pan out. But eventually they did contact me and said, you know, there's another job I think you would be better suited for. Why don't you come back in? So I went back in, had a different interview. And anyway, that was the job for S4.
How different was that interview? Like, can you give us...
It's the same. It's just different people.
Different people?
Yeah, it was just different
Were the
people.
questions more scientifically oriented, or were they personal?
No,
were
the
they...
second set of questions were almost exclusively what I did in my spare time. The first one was
Like
all
hobbies?
technical stuff. Yeah. What do you do? You know, what do you do when you leave work? What do you do here? You know, what have you built anything? You know, what that it was all after the fact questions. So
Did that strike you as like
yeah,
a
it
little
was
strange?
really, really unusual. So I've never run into that before in any interview. And it's just kind of like they were taking the information from the first interview and just adding any kind of personal stuff to it. I mean, you know, do you drink? You know, do you go out, you know, after work? Do you go, you know, running around to bars and things? And, you know, anyway, answering all that stuff and, you know, went back home, but eventually they called me.
Yeah. And at this point, you're like, cool, got a job. Nice. This
Yeah,
is...
got a job nice. And what they said, it's advanced propulsion technology. And it's it was supposed to move into a 2 weeks on, 1 week off thing where I would actually stay out at the test site. So
yeah, you were already doing a lot of work on propulsion yourself with like the jet engine, but your passion as well is sort of propulsion, is you know, blowing stuff up.
Yeah. I mean, anything to do with a jet or rocket engines, or I mean, anything high energy, you know, microwaves. If it's just harnessing tremendous amounts of energy and controlling it, I'm on board with that. And
this seems like a perfect fit then.
Yeah, I guess it will. Yeah, as it turned out to be, exactly, harnessing tremendous amounts of energy and focusing it the way you need.
Michael, not yet, man. Michael says Plug got the dream job, y'all. 100% straight chilling, and not yet. We not full time yet, but we trying to get there. I work. I take my ass to work now, Michael. But we almost there, man. We one video away, man. We one collab away, man. We one moment away, chat. But we gonna keep showing up every night anyway, man.
Need it. Yeah, there was a dream, really.
So you get a call to get this job, to get this position. And can you take us through your first day as you remember it? If you remember sort of the first day, I'm sure like now after all these years, it's probably a conglomerate of all sorts of memories.
Yeah,
but
it does. I can do the first day, but I can't separate the
first from the fourth
from the thing. Yeah, because they begin
it.
to fuse together after 35 years.
And sorry to interrupt, but like just so people understand this as well, because Luigi actually gave me a...
Yeah, that's the thing, Michael. Like, I don't have any free time. That's what it is. It's like either I'm at work or I'm doing this. Straight up, Mike. Like, I don't have any free time. I damn near don't have a life outside of this shit and work. I'm just going to be honest with you.
Really great example. He goes to me and he says, have you tried remembering what your third grade classroom looks like? And I go, yeah, sort of. And he's like, what color were the chairs? I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. Those are questions people ask me. Yeah, and they get really upset. Going,
Yeah.
So you can't remember,
Yeah,
can you?
so
I went,
let's put
no,
that out
I
there.
can't. Well, obviously this is all made up. I said, it's not, but yeah, I mean, give me a break.
Yep.
Yeah, the first time I went out there, I was called out to, again, EG&G Special Projects. So I went there, and like I said, that's at McCarran Airport. Now you can go out of the back of that, and that's where they had the Janet flights, which were the 727,
737, 727. Yeah.
They were jets with the red stripe on them. Yeah. Anyway, they were only used by the government at that time to fly back and forth to Area 51 or the other, I mean, to the different test site areas, to Tonopah and back from Las Vegas. So I flew that, and that landed at Area 51. That would be my first, Area 51 proper, Groom Lake, is where we landed. And then I was taken into a room there, and that's where we went over all the security protocols.
What's up, Gito?
And, what was expected of me, and, signed all kinds of.
Yeah, Possum, I do need to go fishing. I haven't got since I've relocated, I haven't got my fishing license. So I gotta go get me a fishing license. And I need to go put my pole in the water, man. I do definitely need to go put my pole in the water. I got a couple ponds around here. A couple of them, one of them stocked for sure. It's been stocked probably about 3 years ago. But yeah, I need to go put my pole in the water, man. I do need to do that.
Security forums, so on and so forth.
You were alone during that portion, during that flight? Was there other
during
people?
that flight, Dennis Mariani, who was my supervisor, very military-looking guy, short hair, looked like he just walked out of the Marines, no sense of humor whatsoever. Just followed me everywhere, and he was kind of my shadow at the time.
Yeah.
But
did he have like a sense of humor at all or anything? Was he just like he was straight guy?
He was dead. Nothing was funny to him at all. And
sounds like a fun time.
Yeah. He was a creepy dude to hang out with. So anyway, we're there. The first day was really just signing that stuff, and that was about it.
Thanks, Gito.
I want to talk about something that happened recently that I had someone.
Oh shit! Hey, Chad, we didn't hit the like goal, man. We got the slacking a little bit. We're 21 likes away from the next like goal. We gotta double tap that screen. We gotta get the likes up. Go to the top, hit the 3 dots. If everybody makes sure they got the like button here right now, we'll smash past that next like goal, man. We're 21 likes away, man.
Reach out. You know this. I had someone reach out to the channel who was a pilot at one of these planes, right? Who was contracted to EG&G during those years that you were there, and recalls meeting Dennis over a dozen times. And
everybody knew that guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Developed a relationship with him, and I'll keep him anonymous. He was actually supposed to come on here.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, we had arranged everything, and then and he was very nice, a very nice guy, but then all of a sudden just dropped off the face of the earth. Blocked my number. Yep. And he was verified. So it was the first time, I guess, we were going to get a pilot from one of these, planes to come on, but I guess, he may have gotten dissuaded.
What's up, Mr. Anderson?
At some point, which I don't think is surprising to you.
No, it's not. I hear stories like that from George Knapp too much. Oh, why we got a guy that knows you? I mean, he's seen you there, and so on and so forth. And we're talking to him tomorrow, and tomorrow comes and goes, and the next day comes and goes, and and then George has some story that connects to that, and we're never talking to him again, and he's gone. So,
but sufficient to say that he places Dennis. He called him John. Was like his nickname, I guess, or his middle.
Habitational field.
Place now. Luigi and his team did such an amazing job creating that bus ride, seeing the hangars from the bus, entering that door, getting your hand scanner, and then eventually go.
So yeah, there's reports that there are hangars like out in California in the mountains, like remote areas. You drive past it on the highway, it just looks like an old shed or a shack. The guy was like, you go in there into the shed and they push a button and the floor just drops. You just drop like 30 or 40 levels below the ground and shit, and you come into a hangar like specialized. I ain't gonna lie, Chad, it's kind of crazy.
Going into the infirmary, how accurate is that infirmary?
It's 100%.
Really?
It's the whole thing's 100%. Like even I couldn't see the bus on the outside.
Yeah.
You know, you're seeing what I couldn't see, but that would have
Good
been
night, Mr. Darcy.
what my eyes saw.
Yeah.
Because the hangars looked just like that. The infirmary was just like that. I mean, they spent 3 years working
know.
on this, trying to get it exactly perfect. And to my surprise, they did. So it's right on.
Was there anything that, because I know that like a few times, like especially when eventually we'll get into the craft and we'll get into, you mentioned before, the tripod light, but this is kind of information that sort of started arising now that the environment had the ability to jog your memory, because that's a real thing. Like if you showed me a picture of my classroom in grade 3, I guarantee you I'd start recalling things that I'd forgotten.
Yeah, that happened with Luigi too. He'd start building the rooms and say, "Look in here," and I said, "Oh wait, no, the desk was there. Oh yeah, wait, there was a whiteboard there." Yeah, I mean, it did bring back memories, but how could it not when you start seeing it, and it becomes close to reality? There's a couple things you always forget until you see it.
Sure.
And yeah, that really filled in some blanks, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, that must have been pretty cool. I mean, in any environment.
Yeah, Gito, there probably is a crazy amount of underground hangars. Remember that lady that used to be over Department of HUD. She used to be over HUD for the country under Clinton. Who was it? Clinton and Bush? Was it? She came in, yeah, Clinton and Bush. She was over HUD for Clinton and Bush. She said 20 trillion of our debt is from underground cities. 190 locations at least 190 underground locations throughout the country. She said that's where 20 trillion of our debt went.
Environment. Like if you were to go back in grade 3, I'd still like to see my classroom, be like, oh wow, this is kind of gnarly that I get to be here, so in any scenario, but in this specific one, I think a little bit cooler, arguably. So, okay, you go to the infirmary, you get these tests, then you meet Barry. Barry's excited to see you. Is this where Barry breaks the news that the previous person who'd worked there had passed?
Yeah. Once I get introduced to Barry and, everything's kind of copacetic. So Dennis leaves.
Okay.
And then Barry now is excited to show me around the lab, and he says, "I am going to show you stuff that's so awesome." I'm excited. This is great. And well, wait, I left out a gigantic part here. Before I met Barry, we went to the briefing room where I read, all kinds of briefing. Yeah.
Okay, let's pause here for a second. Yeah,
we left out a major part. Yeah.
Arguably one of my favorite parts. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Luigi, I think knows him well, or met him, and he sounds like an interesting guy to talk to. I hope to in the future at some point I get to talk to him.
Yeah, well, I'd be honored to.
Damn, I didn't know I skipped that chat. I'm not gonna lie, he had a lot going under here. Hold on.
Or UFO researchers, but I have heard a few stories. But what was interesting is, the Betty and Barney Hill.
Why does it keep pausing?
Story, back in the early '60s, a mixed race couple
Ken?
claiming to be abducted, by some flying saucer, and apparently Betty, was able to talk to the aliens, and before they let her go.
Chat, do y'all believe in alien abductions? Do y'all believe these people were actually
where did you come?
Abducted and probed? Do y'all believe these people are actually abducted and probed? Chat, yes or no in the chat, man. Are these alien abductions real? Double tap the screen too. We're 17 likes away.
I'm from.
What's up, Matt?
Map and She remembers the map and, during an interview draws it out and they went, yeah, well, that's Zeta Reticuli. And the fact that it said Zeta Reticuli in my paperwork, well, that's a connection there. And so I pay attention to that. So maybe that story is true.
Yeah.
So, again, I don't know for sure, but I do know for sure how the propulsion system works.
Yeah, that's something you can hang your hat on. What I find really fascinating is that like everything that you read about Project Galileo ended
What's up,
up
Janky?
being true.
Right. That's another notch you got to move forward. Everything I read about my project, Project Galileo, was in fact accurate. So just maybe everything else was too.
Yeah.
So,
But also, yeah, could just be passage material.
maybe not. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's you got to be careful there.
Yeah. I mean, we'll move past this in a
Okay,
sec.
H-Buster.
I just kind of want to talk a little bit about some of the memories that came back from that. There were also
Yeah, I don't think
sort of this.
I think the cows were just getting mutilated, Ivan. I think the cows were just getting mutilated and the crop fields were being left. I think the humans were getting probed, man, getting probed.
There was like this general impression that
What's up,
there
Jane?
was some genetic modifications that they were doing to the human race, that they were suppressing consciousness to a certain extent in these documents, as far as you can remember. Is there any?
What's
did
up,
that
B-More?
ever disturb you going forward, like after that, or did you really just like kind of categorize that as this could be BS?
Yeah, that really set off the BS alarm when
Okay.
they said, they claim there was,
No, I ain't never heard of them more
many
time.
corrections to the genetic evolution of, humans and just all kinds of other, wild claims that had, no proof to back them up whatsoever. And I really didn't put much credence in it at all. So I just brushed it off.
Okay. So now you read these documents, you're getting a little more prepped. They're surrounding you with all these guards, these people, they're giving you documents to read, that's strange files.
Yeah, but I still don't know what.
I want to know how Bob Lazar feel about all of these scientists and UFO and nuclear people coming up missing. That's what I want to know. I want to know how he feel about everybody coming up motherfucking missing.
What I'm really
What
working
are you
on, I'm
doing?
still expecting a very advanced jet fighter at this
see.
point,
Yeah.
so I think they're just testing me with all this. What if we gave you information about flying saucers? Would you tell anybody about, no, I wouldn't. I'm staying with the program. And yeah, I'm expecting to be brought in there and seeing,
And why ain't he missing?
the F-32 or something like that. And, that's when they brought me into Barry.
Mm-hmm. So you meet Barry. He gives you a tour prior to seeing the craft. Obviously, you get all the propulsion stuff now. You get all the
Yeah, he has the part of the propulsion system laid out on all that, and really can't wait to show me. And he says, you're going to love this. And there's the small reactor, there's the gravity amplifier and the emitter on another table. And the system is running, and, he said, try to put your hands on the sphere there, which I did. And when I got close to it, I couldn't. It pushed off just like the like poles of a magnet, if you ever played with two big magnets. But with my hands, I went, oh my God, what is this? It's a real force field. And he said, no, just try with all your might. And I did, and you can't move an inch. The first maybe 2 or 3 inches is somewhat elastic, but after that, you're not getting anywhere. And the thing, he shut it off, and the reactor is kind of a hemisphere on a plate.
Man, Chad, that man got a real life shield bubble, Chad. Anybody ever played Fortnite, man, y'all know about them shield bubbles, man. Bob Lazar was playing with a real life shield bubble. It's crazy.
And he moved it, and he said, it's not connected to the bench, and turned it on again. And he said, push on it, and pushing on it. So, I mean, what he was showing me was the force was not being transferred to that, where even if you couldn't touch it, you would think it would slide away, but it wasn't. So the force is just going away. It's not being transferred to the device that's repelling it. You know, and this stuff was amazing me. And then he showed me what this is actually doing is powering this emitter here. And then he showed me how that worked. And then he also mentioned, and you'll notice nothing's connected together. You know, where are we? This is like the Twilight Zone. So this was really, really blowing me away. And like, is this what powers, you know, the aircraft? And he said, what did they explain to you? I said, nothing. They just, you know, I just read these briefings, and so Barry went over everything with me. And this is when I really realized, okay, we are reverse engineering something that some other entities made. And, you know, this is where it became real for me.
When Barry went over everything that you had gone through, how long was that little brief or that Barry gave you? Was that like a 30-minute spiel, or was that like...
No, it was like a couple hours.
A couple hours?
Yeah, because every time, you know, Barry would go, yeah, and there's this. I went, stop, you know, and what do you mean there's this? And, you know, we'd have to explain every last, you know, a bit of what he's learned from that point. I said, okay, now let's go to here. How did you turn this off? And, you know, so it took a long time of me constantly stopping him.
Yeah, in shock, I bet, just constantly.
Yeah, but it was great because I really felt like I was privy to information that only a few people had, and like, we could control the...
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm gonna keep it all the way real, chat. When the way he said it was made by another entity, he didn't say alien, he didn't say, and now we got Congress aren't even using the term alien anymore, they're using interdimensional being. We seen what happened in Miami. I heard y'all talking about Project Blue Beam. All of this into consideration. All this shit on the floor. They're not calling them UFOs anymore. They're calling them UAPs because they go underwater. I don't know, chat. It's some shit going on.
The world with this stuff, but you know, we had no idea how it works, so that was kind of our task.
Wow, that must have been so exciting for Barry, honestly, as well.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
you know, I'm
he
thinking
was
if
really
you're
excited about
working alone, possibly just lost his partner, don't know how long ago.
Yeah.
You know, and then someone new comes along who's like a puppy.
Yeah. It's like a guy showing off his new car. You know,
Yeah,
check this out. Yeah, right.
And he, you know, how cool that he gets to be the one.
Yeah.
To tell you this stuff is real.
Mhm.
You know, with certainty, and show you. Like
Yeah.
that's got to be such a cool moment for the both of you to experience. But is this all lighthearted still? Is this all like excitement based and or
Initially it was that day.
Yeah.
And then I mean, quickly things it seemed like they were in a rush to do anything, to
Yeah.
find out anything. So we had to get down to work eventually quickly. And a lot of it was boring work. It was not exciting. It was making small changes and you know, analyzing different parts of the, you know, although there were different groups that dealt with like the materials, the metallurgy of the craft, and what everything was made of, and
Mhm.
you know, we had dealt with more of the interaction of the components and how they actually propelled the
Yeah.
craft. And it was, I think it was another day or 2 days before I actually got to see the craft, because we had to know if the placement had anything to do with it. And really, they weren't even anxious to let us look at the craft. But, you know, we kind of campaigned for that, going, look, it might be, nothing works. There's no wires anywhere. it might be that placement is critical on this stuff. We have to see how it's laid out in the craft. And it was kind of like okay, you can go in and see it.
I see.
So that's when we were, actually allowed to see it. And that's when the world opened up to me. It's like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Right? So
now walking into that space for the first time, was Barry was with you?
Yeah, right behind me. I walked in first.
Was he like poking you in the ribs and being like, "Wait till you see this"? No,
no. It was
There's
just
no
behind me.
horsing
Yeah,
around.
he was probably just looking at my reaction.
Yeah, just watching you light up.
Yeah.
So you see this craft. Were you prompted prior to entering the room with anything? Do you remember if they were like, "Hey, keep your head down"?
No,
nothing. Just walked in.
No, the first time, I had actually seen the craft. That's actually the second time I saw the craft.
Yeah.
The first time I saw the craft, I came in through a hangar door.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where the days kind of get mixed up. I think it was the third day I was there. I came in through, instead of going around the side of the building, the bus stopped at the first hangar door that was open. So that's when I went out that way.
I see, yeah.
And Dennis led me in, and that's the first time I saw the craft. And I slid my hand along the craft as we were walking in, and that's the first time I was reprimanded by a guard. Keep your hands down, your eyes forward, and go through the door. So that's the first time I saw the craft. When I first came in with Barry from that day, was the first time I was allowed in the craft.
And that was the first time you were aware that the craft was extraterrestrial. Because prior to that, you just thought...
to that, when I came in and walked in that way, they had, where the hatch part was, they had an American flag stuck on there, reversed for whatever reason. And so I thought that's a fighter,
Yeah, that's what people are seeing.
Yeah. I think I have these days screwed up because it gets confused in my mind. But anyway, so I came in there and still in my mind that was, an American built thing.
Yeah.
But it was, again, when I was in with Barry and, we saw the gravitational propulsion system, it working, how it repelled, and talking to him, that's when I realized,
That's what I was saying, Frost. That's why I wanted them to ask him, like, shit, how does he feel about the other missing UFO and nuclear scientist shit if he talking like this?
This is, a machine from another entity. And when we came in and walked in the hangar that day, I looked at this completely in a different light.
Yeah.
And we walked up the stairs they made for it. And clearly it wasn't made for a human to get in because you had to crawl in and you couldn't really even stand up until you were almost in the center. But, we looked around and he showed me where the reactor is and how you can look down into where the emitters are on the third level in the craft. And that was all very amazing, to say the least.
Was there a feeling of an alteration of environment when you entered the craft as opposed to when you were outside it? Did you feel like there was a static charge, or like it was colder, or it had a smell to it? Was there anything?
No, it was just an ominous feeling.
Yeah,
because it's all, everything's the same color. Everything has the same radius of curvature to it. The only sharp edges in the whole thing are the reactor plate that it sits on, but everything else has a curve to it. Everything is the same material and the same color. So it feels, otherworldly.
Yeah.
When you're in there, because, human environments are full of different colors, different textures, different angles, but it's not there. It's just, it's weird. And just
almost uncanny valley type, like this isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a really, and it's just automatically uncomfortable. It's just, we're so used to something else. It's like, people say, well, that must have been so cool. No, it was not cool at all. It's like, I actually wanted to go back out. It was cool to look at it, but it's a really creepy feeling in there. It's really ominous.
Almost like you're not supposed to be there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the actual feeling. I think I said I just felt like I shouldn't be in here.
That's how I felt when I first put on the goggles.
Oh, really?
That's exactly what I said, is like, I feel like I shouldn't be here.
Yeah, that's weird that translates,
Yeah.
into that. To me, that tells me that Luigi got it
Yeah.
exactly right.
Yeah, you worked with Luigi for 3 years building S4, building, the bus, the cafeteria, all these like different, like the hallway, all this. But the craft is like, this is the magnum opus. This is like the thing
Hit the like button,
that
chat.
you
We
had to
9 likes
rebuild and you
away.
had to make perfect. Now, if I look behind me here, there's like a little model that you had made, the maker's model of like the UFO, which was 1/48 scale, back in the day. But this was a totally different.
Oh, yeah.
You went deep on this with Luigi.
Yeah, this is.
How close is the craft to your memory of the craft when you see it through the eyes of S4, the Bob Lazar story, and Project Gravitar?
Now I have to say, I mean, even being conservative, it's 100%. I mean, we went through it again and again. Now, I may not be recollecting it at 100%,
Sure.
but from what I remember, that is 100%. That's exactly the way it looked. I mean, there's some question, was there another bump onto the black insulating ring?
Yeah, sure.
I don't remember, but this is what was in my mind. So that's, like I said, Luigi's images are like they were downloaded from my brain. They're exact.
Seeing this thing in Project Gravitar as well, in the documentary, when the doors open and it starts hovering and it goes outside.
Now, I didn't see that.
Right. But you've seen the craft elevate.
Yeah, I mean, the one time we were allowed, Barry and I were working in the lab, and then Dennis came in and he said, "Hey, there's a test flight going on."
Asia Max said, I wonder who's insuring the spacecraft. State Farm, the Pentagon. The Pentagon's insuring that bad boy, man. This is part of national security. Taxpayers.
Why don't you guys come out? And there was one of the doors in the lab led right to the big hangar, so we could open that, and we were there. So it was already out on the lake bed. So I don't know if they hovered it out there or
Sure.
put it out or what the deal was. But there was clearly somebody, and this is one of the things that still confuses me to this day. It has a gravity field around it. And, that's going to bend everything from light to electromagnetic waves and all that. Yet there's a guy on a desk with a conventional HF radio or VHF radio talking to someone inside the craft. Now, that should be impossible. It just, it shouldn't work at all.
True.
But yeah, it did. So I had a lot of questions about how that was even working, and that caught my eye. And anyway, the craft was out there, and some time went by, and then the craft began to lift silently off the ground. There was a little bluish purplish glow on the bottom, which was just kind of a corona discharge because the craft produced high voltage on its skin, which, by the way, if you shorted it out, it didn't do anything different. So it's just like anything you changed in the craft, it didn't care about.
Wow.
So once it lifted, it just stayed there for a while. And Dennis told me, go out and go under the craft.
Dennis told you that?
Yeah. And Barry stayed there, and I said, oh, okay. So I walked out there, kind of looking up the craft. And as I walked out, I looked back toward Dennis like, am I doing the right thing? And, he pointed up to look at the craft. So I did. And as I walked out under the craft, I couldn't see the craft. As I got closer to it, the craft just turned into sky. What I was seeing was the light bending around the craft, which was just incredibly awesome. So I took a step back and I could see the edge of the craft, and I went back under it. But also the other thing that hit me at the time was it's not transferring its weight to the ground. If you have something and you're producing a force and pushing on it, it's not on a pedestal where it's taking the weight of the craft and transferring it to the ground. The weight is just gone. So I'm under it. I'm not getting crushed by it. I can walk freely and I can't see the craft.
No wind, nothing.
No, there's nothing at all. No sound. And I step back and then I can see the edge of the craft come back into view and walk back. And I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's an imprint in my brain that'll live forever. It's yeah, so the mass is being canceled out there. It's not being transferred down. It's not standing on a pedestal of anti-gravity. It's just going away.
Yeah, that is so weird to think about because it's so unnatural and unlike anything you would.
Yeah, but imagine if you could control that, right? You could do, I mean, what you could do. It's like I'm so jealous of their technology. So
yeah. Okay. So in the hangar, we see this craft. Now in Gravitar, they've recreated the craft. They've recreated the flight characteristics of it. They've recreated in this in Blender and all these other softwares and whatnot. You're getting to relive this. Is there a point? And I just want to, I kind of want to make this point for the audience because I want them to eventually experience this too. And I want them to support the project and go, check it out because it will, I think, change a lot of people's perception one way or another. If you don't believe the story, if you believe whatever it is, it'll change your perception of it because it'll put you in that space. Did you feel at any point like, man, people are going to understand now what I saw, like when you were in this, when you're watching this with your own eyes? Do you feel like, oh, this will help people understand what I saw?
When I saw Luigi's graphics. Yeah, I did. Yeah, to some extent.
Does that make you feel,
Yeah, because a lot of people had just wrong ideas of it. I mean, even when Luigi released the first image of it in the hangar, you had, a bunch of people come out, oh my God, so I always thought it had some kind of landing gear. And, and people had all these other preconceived notions that was going on. Some guy said, clearly the whole thing's a lie because from what you said, it's impossible to see the American flag.
That's right.
On that. And, Luigi did everything exactly to scale and put, the camera exactly. And if you walk by, you can see the flag exactly where I said, so I thought, to some extent, it's certainly going to, prove, some of the things I said. But, you always have the people that are just really don't care.
Yeah.
They're going, it doesn't matter. This is all nonsense.
Sure. Yeah.
But
all right, chat. Yeah, we finna get up out of here, chat. We're 5 likes away from the next like goal. Let's hit 300 likes, man. I'm not gonna lie. I ate that chicken steak and bacon Philly, man, and it's about that time, chat. It's about that time, man. It's time to get the, twiddling my toes, looking around and shit, man. It's time to relax, get ready to call it a night, man. Wake up and try it again tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Chat. Yeah, twiddling them toes, Chad, getting the rubbing them feet together, man. Time to call it a night, man. I'm gonna see y'all on the next one, though, Chad. Double tap the screen. We're 3 likes away from 300. I'm gonna see y'all on the next one, Chad. We'll be back tomorrow at 10 p.m. Central Time. Thank you, TBR. Thank you to all of the donations. Thank you to the chat for showing up, man. See you on the next one. Good night, Chad.